Chapter 3488. He had lived for far too long. Demon Master Chenhua, I've already asked you to attack twice. Furthermore, you've already used your strongest move. Next, you should also receive my blade. Elder Darkbone smiled faintly. Demon Master Chenhua immediately prepared himself. Under everyone's gaze, Elder Darkbone attacked once again. Elder Darkbone did not take too long to gather his strength before he casually slashed out with his blade. This slash was indeed very casual. It did not seem like he was using any powerful ultimate move. Moreover, after the battle blade attacked, the void in front of him did not even have the slightest ripple. There was not even a blade light. Elder Darkbone's blade did not seem to have any effect on the surrounding void, nor did it have any power bursting out. Seeing this scene, the few people watching the battle revealed puzzled expressions. Even the Demon Master Chenhua frowned slightly. However, suddenly, the expression of the Demon Master Chenhua changed. His right hand instantly gathered a majestic power and exploded toward the void in front of him. Bang! His fist smashed into the void in front of him. There was actually a formless and terrifying blade light charging over. Fortunately, Demon Master Chenhua reacted in time. In any case, this formless blade light had directly struck his body. Even though he reacted, the power contained within that formless blade light was still not something that Demon Master Chenhua's last-minute punch could compare to. After an intense explosion sounded, Demon Master Chenhua's body suddenly shot out. He directly shot to the edge of the battlefield before he finally came to a stop. He regained his balance, but at this moment, he was shocked. He looked at his right hand with a look of disbelief. Elder Darkbone had already put away his blade and looked at him again. Dark Fire Demon Master, you don't have to be too surprised. You may not know this, but I have lived for a very long time. During this long time, I have been to the universe battlefield many times and met countless great beings. I have even met many ruler-level great beings in the universe battlefield. And even in the universe battlefield, there are no restrictions on the ruler-level experts. Under the premise that they can unleash their strongest strength, this old man still has the confidence to survive in the hands of an ordinary ruler-level expert. As for the experts at the pinnacle of the 6 states of the void, this old man has met even more in the universe battlefield. But among these experts at the pinnacle of the 6 states of the void, other than Di Shirsan from the 7-star mysterious sect, there is really no one who is a match for this old man. You have just broken through to the pinnacle of the 6 states of the void not long ago, so it is very normal for your strength to be inferior to this old man. Right? Life Fall King laughed, but in terms of strength, Elder Darkbone is indeed much stronger than ordinary experts at the pinnacle of the 6 void realms. It is precisely because of this that he was able to survive against a ruler-level expert, which is why he has the qualifications to befriend me. As for you, Demon Master Chenhua, you have just broken through to the pinnacle of the 6 void realms, yet you are already so strong. It is already very rare, but if you want to challenge Chenhua, you are still lacking quite a bit. I was defeated in this battle. I am completely convinced of my defeat, Demon Master Chenhua said directly. He could already tell that although he was already on the same level as Elder Darkbone was far stronger than him in terms of true strength. This could be seen from Elder Darkbone's extremely casual manner when he fought with him. When Elder Darkbone fought with him, he should not have used his full strength. Moreover, Elder Darkbone himself had said that even in the universe battlefield, he was confident that he could survive in front of a ruler-level expert. This ability was something that even the Demon Master Chenhua felt inferior to. One had to know that a ruler-level expert, even in the Divine Beginning realm, was still stronger than a Saint Realm Master under the restriction of the will of the Heavenly Tao. In the universe battlefield, a ruler-level expert could display his peak strength without any restrictions. His combat strength was definitely dozens of times stronger than that of a Master of the Saint Realm, or even more. In the face of such absolute strength, Demon Master Chenhua was confident in his survival. One could only imagine how powerful he was. Alright you two, this battle ends here. Jian Wushuang had already walked forward. He glanced at Demon Master Chenhua and asked, "How do you feel, Chenhua? How can a loser feel?" I still don't understand the last move he made, Demon Master Chenhua said. Yes, we don't understand the move either. What's going on? Axe 1 Master asked. The last blade that Elder Darkbone used was indeed a little too strange. That was because in their view, that blade did not produce any ripples and did not affect the void at all. They did not even see where the blade light was. Even Demon Master Chenhua did not sense the blade light at the beginning. It was only later that he could sense it because the blade light was attacking him. And seeing everyone's puzzled look, Elder Darkbone laughed. Actually, that blade of mine was nothing. In terms of power, it was slightly weaker than the strongest move of Demon Master Chenhua. However, that blade of mine was somewhat illusory. This is also related to the principles that I have grasped. Of course, the main reason is that I have been roaming the universe battlefield for too long and have fought with all kinds of experts. There are many top-tier warriors fighting with each other. During these battles, they have naturally comprehended some unique ultimate moves. For example, that blade just now is considered a unique ultimate move. In the future, if you have roamed the universe battlefield for a long time and fought with many top-tier warriors, you might also be able to comprehend some unique ultimate moves. Is that so? Everyone could understand. Elder Darkbone's blade was indeed strange, but when they thought about how long he had lived, everyone felt relieved. He had lived for such a long time and fought with countless top-tier great beings. Under such circumstances, it would be strange if he could not comprehend some special techniques and ultimate moves. Although I have reached the pinnacle of the 6 void realms, I have never been to the universe battlefield, Demon Master Chenhua could not help but say. Neither have I, Jian Wushuang said. At the same time, he immediately remembered that among the few opportunities left by Shuebei in the Blood North Secret Realm, there was a star map of the universe battlefield. The star map was to go to a special place, but since he had never been to the universe battlefield, he naturally had not been there. The universe battlefield is the real paradise for experts. It seems that after I finish what I've done here and extract Shuang Er's soul, he'll have to go to the universe battlefield to experience it, Jian Wushuang thought to himself. Chapter 3489 Spirit Ancestors Shock. Well, the sparring is over. Next, we should discuss how to deal with Da Ying and the Blood Clan, Shower said. With the addition of Mr. Elder Darkbone and Lord Life Fall King, the strength of our camp has greatly increased. With such strength, we don't need to discuss how to deal with the Blood Clan and Da Ying, who is already in a weakened state with a severely injured soul. We can just fight them directly, Axe 1 Master said. That's right. We already have absolute strength, so we don't need to waste time. We can attack directly. But before that, I have to invite someone, Jian Wushuang said. Who? Shower looked over. Spirit Ancestor, Jian Wushuang said, the reason I want to kill the Blood Clan's Grandmaster is because of the agreement between me and Spirit Ancestor. Now that we're going to attack the Blood Clan, we naturally have to invite her to witness it. Once she arrives, we'll attack immediately. Sure. Shower nodded. Elder Darkbone, Light Fall King, and Axe 1 Master naturally did not have any objections. On the same day, Jian Wushuang sent a message to Spirit Ancestor. A few days later, Spirit Ancestor arrived at the Nine-Tailed Clan. Heavenly Sword Marquis, I already know what you did in the Demon Realm with the Divine Moon Palace. Now that you've specially invited me here, are you planning to attack the Blood Clan? Spirit Ancestor asked directly when she saw Jian Wushuang. Spirit Ancestor, don't worry. Come with me first. Jian Wushuang smiled and led Spirit Ancestor to a palace below. Spirit Ancestor followed Jian Wushuang to the palace. However, as soon as she stepped into the palace, she immediately saw many figures sitting in the palace. At the same time, she also felt the rich and powerful auras emitted by these figures. 6 realms of the void, so many experts of the 6 realms of the void. Even though the Spirit Ancestor was experienced and knowledgeable, she was also shocked by the lineup before her. One must know that even the Heavenly Ancestor Taoist sect, one of the 3 great freedom alliances of the Divine Beginning Realm, did not have as many principles masters of the 6 realms of the void who stayed in the Divine Beginning Realm all year round. Not to mention, other than a few principals masters of the 6 realms of the void, she could not even sense the specific level of a few others. This made her even more shocked. Spirit Ancestor, let me introduce you first. This is Miss Shower, the Palace Master of Divine Moon Palace. She created Divine Moon Palace by herself, and now she has regained control of the 9-tailed clan, Jian Wushuang said. Palace Master of Divine Moon Palace? Spirit Ancestor was stunned, but when she saw Shower, she was a little surprised. She did not know that Palace Master of Divine Moon Palace was only in the 4th realm of the Void Realm. However, what Jian Wushuang said next shocked her. This is Lord Su, Miss Shower's servant. Next to him is Master of Shadow Fox of the 9-tailed clan. You should have heard of him. Lord Su? Servant? Ancestor Spirit was shocked. These 3 are Axe 1 Master, Markeduan Yu, and Star Saint Master, Jian Wushuang introduced. However, as Axe 1 Master had warned him not to reveal the existence of Star Palace, he did not mention that the 3 of them were from Star Palace. Spirit Ancestor looked at Axe 1 Master and the other 2 with a strange expression. Although she was a loner and never paid attention to the outside world, she knew most of the powerful principals masters in the Divine Beginning realm. However, she had never heard of Axe 1 Master and the other 2. Then, Jian Wushuang brought Spirit Ancestor to Demon Master Chenhua. This is Demon Master Chenhua, Jian Wushuang said. I know him. He was with you when you came to the Divine Ancestor Taoist sect. He is so strong that even Spirit Ancestor thought he was weaker than you, Spirit Ancestor said. Yes, but not long ago, Chenyuo's strength improved after the battle with Deng. Now, he has reached the pinnacle of the 6 void realms, Jian Wushuang said. What? Spirit Ancestor was shocked and looked at Demon Master Chenhua with a humble expression. Spirit Ancestor, this is Elder Darkbone. You should have heard of him, Jian Wushuang said. Elder Darkbone? Spirit Ancestor glanced at Elder Darkbone and said with a smile, Mr. Elder Darkbone, long time no see. How have you been? Last time I saw you, you were still seeking revenge against the Blood Clan for your husband's death. I didn't expect Heavenly Sword Marquis to invite me to kill the clan leader of the Blood Clan to make a deal with you. Elder Darkbone laughed leisurely. Obviously, he had interacted with Spirit Ancestor before. Spirit Ancestor could not help but smile. Spirit Ancestor, there's one more. This is Life Fall King, a good friend of Elder Darkbone. This time, he came with Elder Darkbone. In addition, Life Fall King is a ruler-level expert, Jian Wushuang said. Ruler level. Spirit Ancestor was shocked and immediately looked at Life Fall King in shock. At the same time, he bowed respectfully and said, Greetings, my lord. Life Fall King only glanced at Spirit Ancestor and did not say anything. Spirit Ancestor, all of you here are the experts who came with me to the Blood Clan to kill the Blood Clan leader for you. Do you still feel satisfied? Jian Wushuang said. Yes, of course I'm satisfied. Spirit Ancestor was extremely excited at this moment. Her body was even slightly trembling. After all, she had been waiting for this day for a long time. Before this, she really could not find any way to kill the Blood Clan leader. Later, when she finally met Jian Wushuang, she saw that Jian Wushuang had great potential and unlimited possibilities. It just so happened that Jian Wushuang needed her help, so she made such a request to kill the Blood Clan leader. In fact, she knew that such a request was indeed a bit too much, but she had no choice but to seize this slim chance. She did not expect that Jian Wushuang would actually agree to her request and kill the Blood Clan leader for her with all his strength. Moreover, he had invited a lineup that was simply shocking to her. 5 ordinary experts of the 6 void realms, 2 experts of the ultimate of the 6 void realms, and a true Saint Master realm expert. If such a lineup could not kill the Blood Clan leader, it meant that she would not be able to avenge her husband in the future. Spirit Ancestor, since you are satisfied with this lineup, then what I said before, Jian Wushuang looked at Spirit Ancestor. Heaven Marquis, don't worry. It would be good if we could successfully kill the Blood Clan leader during this trip. Even if we are lucky enough to let the Blood Clan leader escape, as long as everyone here has done their best, I will not have any regrets. I will still do my best to help you do that, Spirit Ancestor said. That's good. Jian Wushuang nodded with satisfaction. Chapter 3490 Target, the Blood Clan. In that case, let's not waste any time. Let's go to the Blood Clan now. Jian Wushuang suggested. The surrounding people looked at each other and nodded. Then they set off directly. Because their purpose this time was to kill De Ying and the Blood Clan leader, they did not want to wipe out the Blood Clan. Therefore, they were the only ones who set off to the Blood Clan. As for the principals masters of the Divine Moon Palace and the Nine-Tailed Clan who were below the 6th realm of the Void Realm, none of them went. The Blood Clan land was far away from the Nine-Tailed Clan. It would take a long time for ordinary experts to travel, but this time, almost all the experts who went to the Blood Clan were above the 6th realm of the Void Realm. They traveled at a terrifying speed. In less than half a day, they had arrived outside the ancestral land of the Blood Clan. When they arrived, the Blood Clan did not receive any news. The entire Blood Clan was very calm, but the clan-protecting formation of the Blood Clan had been operating normally. Marquis Duanyu, it's up to you. Jian Wushuang glanced at Marquis Duanyu. Leave it to me. But if any experts of the Blood Clan come out, please block them for me. Don't let them affect me, Marquis Duanyu said. Don't worry. With our formation there, no one from the Blood Clan will dare to come out, Jian Wushuang said. Marquis Duanyu nodded and immediately rushed toward the ancestral land of the Blood Clan. There was a huge formation outside the ancestral land, which was the protection formation of the Blood Clan. Marquis Duanyu appeared next to the formation and began to crack it. However, it was the protection array of the Divine Clan after all. Its power level was extremely high. Marquis Duanyu's act of cracking it openly caused quite a commotion. In a secret room in the ancestral land of the Blood Clan. This secret room was extremely hidden. Even many of the elders and high-level experts of the Blood Clan did not know of the existence of such a secret room, let alone an innocent intruder. At this moment, there were two people sitting in this secret chamber. One of them was wearing a blood robe. His face was thin, but his skin was extremely ruddy as if it was stained with a layer of faint blood. He was the clan leader of the Blood Clan, also known as the Blood Master. As for the other person, he was wearing a black robe. His entire body was wrapped in the black robe, so it was impossible to see his exact appearance. Moreover, the aura emitted from his body was also extremely cold. There was even an extremely evil aura. Yama, what does your master mean by that? The Blood Master frowned and asked. Blood Master, don't be anxious. Under the black robe, a hoarse voice slowly sounded. It's not that you don't know my master's position. This matter involves not only the Nine-Tailed Clan, but also Heavenly Sword Marquis. As you know, Heavenly Sword Marquis, even the 3 Great Saint Realms can't do anything to him now. They have no intention of attacking him for the time being. No matter what, my master still has to stand with the 3 Great Saint Realms on the surface. If my master really wants to help you at all costs, that would be to directly shed all pretense of cordiality with Heavenly Sword Marquis. At that time, we still don't know what will happen to Heavenly Sword Marquis. However, the 3 Saint Realm Masters will definitely blame my master. Humph, with your master's strength and methods, are you afraid that the 3 Saint Realm Masters will blame him? The Blood Master coldly glanced at the black-robed man. Of course, after all, my master is currently living under someone else's roof. He has to listen to the 3 Saint Realm Masters more or less. It is obvious that the 3 Saint Realm Masters want to follow the Heavenly Sword Marquis and find an opportunity to give him a fatal blow. However, if the Heavenly Sword Marquis is alerted because of my master's rash attack, the 3 Saint Realm Masters will definitely be unhappy, the black-robed man said indifferently. In other words, your master is not willing to get involved in this matter? The Blood Master said coldly. I didn't say that, but in my opinion, since you sincerely want to cooperate with my master will not reject you so easily. Otherwise, he would not have sent me here personally. It can be said that my master is still willing to cooperate with you, Blood Master. However, my master has a lot of things to worry about now, so he has not made a definite decision. He will have to wait a little longer and see what the situation is like before deciding, the black-robed man said. It depends on the situation? The Blood Master was shocked and angry. Humph, if we look at the situation again, the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Heavenly Marquis of Sword will attack us. It's not necessary. Even if the Heavenly Sword Marquis joins hands with the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Divine Moon Palace, their lineup is indeed much stronger than the Blood Clan. However, the Blood Clan now has not only you, but also Daing. With you two experts at the peak of the 6 states of the void, what can they do to you with only one expert at the peak of the 6 states of the void? Besides, I'm among the Blood Clansmen now. If they really attack, I'll naturally lend you a hand, the Black-Robed Man said. With your words, I feel a little relieved. The Blood Master let out a sigh of relief. But suddenly, the Blood Master's expression changed, and he stood up abruptly. What's wrong? The Black-Robed Man looked over. It's a formation. Our clan's protective formation has been attacked, and the formation spirit told me that that person is using a special method to break the formation. If he continues to break the formation like that, it won't be long before the formation spirit can't hold on any longer. The Blood Master said in a deep voice. Break the formation? The Black-Robed Man stood up in shock. It's the Nine-Tailed Clan. It must be the Nine-Tailed Clan's people who have come to kill us. There's also that Heavenly Sword Marquis. At this time, only they would dare to attack us, and only their people can break our clan's formation so quickly. The Blood Master immediately became nervous. Daing told me before that the array of the Nine-Tailed Clan was broken by a mysterious expert of the 6 states of the void in the camp of the Divine Moon Palace. The array of the Nine-Tailed Clan is a 5-element array from the universe battlefield. However, in terms of level, it's higher than the array of the Blood Clan. Even the array of the Nine-Tailed Clan can't withstand it. Naturally, the array of the Blood Clan will also be broken by that person. The Black-Robed Man's aura surged as he said leisurely, I didn't expect that the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Heavenly Sword Marquis would actually dare to attack the Blood Clan so quickly. Where did they get their courage from? It's over now. They've already charged over. We should think of a way to stop them first, the Blood Master said in a deep voice. Don't be anxious. The Black-Robed Man waved his sleeve and said in a deep voice, Blood Master, didn't you invite many experts who are skilled in formations to prevent the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Heavenly Sword Marquis from attacking? These experts can be used now. Chapter 3491 Array Defense. Yes, I almost forgot. These experts who are good at array formations all have an extremely high level of research in array formations. Moreover, they came to the inner part of our Blood Clan very early and began to study our clan's protective array formations. They already have a very good understanding of our clan's protective array formations. As for the person who broke the formation invited by the Nine-Tailed Clan, although he has a very high attainment in formations, he is only one person. Moreover, he is outside the formation, so he can break the formation outside. The experts I invited are constantly repairing and fighting against him inside the formation. With so many people working together with the formation spirit, I don't believe he can break our clan's protective formation. A cold smile appeared on the Blood Master's face. He had long been on guard against the Nine-Tailed Clan and Jian Wushuang. In particular, he had learned from Daing that the Nine-Tailed Clan had been conquered largely because the clan's protective array had been broken by someone. That meant that the other party must have an expert in array formation. Therefore, in order to be on the safe side, he had paid a great price to invite many experts with high attainments in array formation. Now, these experts could be used. Following the Blood Master's instructions, the experts who were good at the field of formation quickly began to cooperate with the spirit of the formation to fight against Marquis Duanyu. As the Blood Clan already knew that the Nine-Tailed Clan and Jian Wushuang had come to attack, they were also on full alert. The entire Blood Clan could be said to be on full alert. In the void outside the Blood Clan, Jian Wushuang and the others were also waiting quietly. They waited for a full hour. Something is wrong. Axe 1 Master frowned and said, Mark Duanyu's attainments in the Tao of formation have long reached the peak. Even the 5-elemental formation of the Nine-Tailed Clan did not take him long to crack without anyone's influence. However, the Guardian formation of the Blood Clan is not as high level or as complicated as the 5-elemental formation of the Nine-Tailed Clan. Yet, Marquis Duanyu still hasn't cracked it after an hour? Yes, it's a little strange. Jian Wushuang nodded. However, they did not go up to him to ask about it because Marquis Duanyu was still breaking the formation and the Blood Clan did not send any experts to disturb him. At this moment, Marquis Duanyu, who had been in the middle of breaking the formation, finally opened his eyes and got up to return. Marquis Duanyu, how is it? Axe 1 Master hurriedly asked. You look like you've run into some trouble. Jian Wushuang also asked. I did run into some trouble. Marquis Duanyu nodded and said, the level of this formation isn't very high, and I've known about it before. As long as no one interferes with me, it's easy to break this formation. But I didn't expect that the Blood Clan had been prepared. Prepared? Everyone was puzzled. If I'm not mistaken, there should be more than a dozen or more experts who are proficient in array within the Blood Clan. These experts already have a very good understanding of the Blood Clan's protective array. If they work together and cooperate with the spirit of this array, they will continue to tangle with me. As soon as I break a place, they will immediately repair or change that place. They will constantly obstruct me, making it impossible for me to break this array. Marquis Duanyu said, Is that so? Everyone immediately understood. Previously, when they saw that no one from the Blood Clan had walked out of the formation, they thought that no one could affect Marquis Duanyu. They did not expect that the Blood Clan could actually make those experts who were good at formations. It had a great impact on Marquis Duanyu from inside the formation. However, that Blood Clan leader has clearly underestimated me. Marquis Duanyu smiled again. He thought that by inviting these experts who are good at arrays to obstruct me from cracking the array formation from the inside, he would be able to ensure that this array formation is complete. However, he didn't know that the experts he invited who are good at arrays are just a bunch of useless chickens and dogs. Their understanding of arrays might be at the level of a master in the divine beginning realm. However, if they were placed in the universe battlefield, they wouldn't even be able to compare. They don't know how changeable the array is, nor do they know how many ways to break it. For example, the one I used to break it one by one is just one of the ways to break it. But there are more ways to break it. They have never come into contact with it, so how can they really hinder me? So, Marquis Duanyu, you already have a way to break the array? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. Yes, I have secretly arranged many methods in the magic array during the fight with them. Now, as long as I activate these methods at the same time, the magic array will be in a temporary state of stagnation. In this short period of time, only one of you, Demon Master Chenhua or Mr. Elder Darkbone, can easily break this magic array, Marquis Duanyu said. Amazing! Axe 1 Master could not help but exclaim. In that case, Chenhua, please help Marquis Duanyu to break the formation, Jian Wushuang said. Sure. Demon Master Chenhua nodded slightly and then walked toward the formation with Marquis Duanyu. Demon Master Chenhua, this is the place. As long as you stand here, you can attack the formation immediately if I ask you to. It doesn't need to be very powerful. With the strength of an expert at the pinnacle of the 6 void realms, you can break the formation with just one attack, Marquis Duanyu said. Understood. Demon Master Chenhua nodded. As for Marquis Duanyu, he closed his eyes and began to activate the techniques he left behind in the array. A moment later, Marquis Duanyu's eyes opened once again. At this moment, Demon Master Chenhua, make your move. Marquis Duanyu shouted. Demon Master Chenhua did not hesitate. He raised his right hand and a majestic might condensed in it. Following that, he punched out toward the array in front of him. The fist smashed into the light membrane of the magic formation like a meteor. Because the magic formation was in a temporary state of stagnation, it was impossible to distribute all the power of Demon Master Chenhua's punch to every corner. Moreover, the spot where Demon Master Chenhua attacked was the weak point of the magic formation. Therefore, the punch instantly blew a big hole in the light membrane of the magic formation. The appearance of the big hole immediately caused the entire formation to collapse. The overwhelming power began to retreat frantically. In a short while, the protective formation of the Blood Clan had disappeared, and the Blood Clan had been completely exposed to Jian Wushuang and the others. Axe 1 Master, Star Saint Master, Lord Su, and Lord Shadowfox. Marquis Duan Yu shouted in a low voice. Axe 1 Master, Star Saint Master, Lord Su, and Lord Shadowfox were already prepared. They were standing in 4 corners of the ancestral land of the Blood Clan. After hearing Marquis Duan Yes shout, the 4 of them attacked at the same time. Instantly, with Marquis Duan Yu as the core, a brand new array formation was formed. This array formation was the Netherjade 5-kill array formation. Chapter 3492 Charge into the Blood Clan. In the ancestral land of the Blood Clan, the Blood Master initially thought that the experts who were skilled in arrays that he had invited had successfully stopped Marquis Duan Yu from breaking the array. He was originally extremely happy, but suddenly, the protective array of the Blood Clan was broken. This sudden change caused the Blood Master to turn pale with fright. The entire Blood Clan became extremely nervous. The many high-level experts of the Blood Clan all rose up with solemn expressions. Especially when the Netherjade 5-kill formation around the Blood Clan was formed, the Blood Clan experts all felt a trace of panic in their hearts. What's going on? Wasn't the person who broke the formation already blocked? How did he break it all of a sudden? What's going on? The Blood Master's expression was unsightly as he continuously roared. It's too late to say this now. The formation has been broken. This is the truth. However, even if the formation is broken, the combined forces of the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Heavenly Sword Marquis might not be able to do anything to you. The mysterious black-robed man beside him said. The Blood Master's gaze darkened as he nodded to himself. At this moment, Da Ying, who was originally in seclusion within the Blood Clan, was alarmed by the commotion here. He had also forcefully broken through and appeared beside the Blood Master. Blood Master, what's going on? Da Ying frowned as she looked around at the huge formation that had formed around her. That formation had brought her quite a bit of pressure. What else can be going on? Isn't it just the Nine-Tailed Clan and the Heavenly Sword Marquis that are charging over? You clearly know that there are 2 experts at the peak of the 6 states of the void in our Blood Clan, yet you still dare to charge in. You really have guts. The Blood Master snorted coldly. He then looked at Da Ying. Da Ying, how has your strength recovered during these few days of closed-door cultivation? The backlash to my soul was too severe previously. I was only in closed-door cultivation for such a short period of time, and my battle strength was unable to recover to its peak. Now, I can only display close to 70% of my battle strength. Ding said. Close to 70%? That's about it. If you and I join hands, a mere expert at the peak of the 6 states of the void would not be able to take us down. If it really doesn't work, isn't Elder Darkbone around? The Blood Master glanced at the black-robed man beside him. Don't worry, Blood Master. If it comes to a critical moment, I will take action, the black-robed man said. That's good. The Blood Master nodded slightly. After the Netherjade 5-kill formation was set up, Jian Wushuang and the others, who had been waiting outside, finally walked into the Blood Clan ancestors' land and soon appeared in front of the Blood Master, Da Ying, and the others. Da Ying, do you think you can hide in the Blood Clan and live in peace? Shower stared at Da Ying with a cold face. Daji, I admire you. Not only are you able to find so many powerful helpers, but you are also very good at setting up formations. If I'm not wrong, the formations you are setting up around here should be used to prevent me from escaping, right? Deng said in a low voice. That's right. This array is prepared to kill experts like you who have reached the peak of the 6 states of the void. This array is called the Netherjade 5-kill array. It is formed by the joint efforts of 5 experts of the 6 states of the void. Da Ying, if you have the ability, you can go and try to see if you can escape from this array. Shower said with a cold smile. The array formed by 5 experts of the 6 states of the void? Da Ying's face sank. Actually, there was no need to try. When she was trapped in the formation and felt the power of the formation, she had guessed that it would be difficult for her to break out of the formation. Even if she joined hands with the Blood Masters and Yama, it would be difficult for her to break out of the formation. However, even if she could not break out of the formation, it did not mean that they would die. After all, this was the ancestral land of the Blood Clan. There were many Blood Clan experts present, And there were also the Blood Master and Yama. The Ing had some confidence. Deji, since you want to kill me, then bring out all your methods. I want to see if you really have the ability, said Ding. Don't worry, I won't let you down. Shower smiled coldly. At this moment, the spirit ancestor also took a step forward and stared at the Blood Master. He said in a low voice, Blood Master, do you still remember me? Oh, isn't this the spirit ancestor of the Heavenly Ancestor Taoist sect? Why, are you also involved in today's battle? However, what can you do with your strength? The Blood Master stared at the spirit ancestor with a strange smile. Although the spirit ancestor was also the ruler of the rules of the 6 states of the void, her combat strength was still far from the peak of the 6 states of the void. She was only slightly better at the aspect of the soul. The Blood Master did not take her to heart at all. Yes, I can't threaten you with my strength alone, but I'm afraid you don't know that it's because of me that Heavenly Sword Marquis is willing to spend so much effort to kill you. Spirit Ancestor said coldly. What did you say? The Blood Master frowned immediately. Blood Master, Spirit Ancestor is right, Jian Wushuang said at this moment. The reason why I didn't hesitate to attack the Blood Clan was because I had an agreement with Spirit Ancestor that I would help her kill you. Without this reason, who would dare to attack the Blood Clan, one of the 4 divine clans? I see, the Blood Master said. I didn't expect that Spirit Ancestor, whom I didn't take seriously before, would bring so much trouble to the Blood Clan. Fortunately, even if you attack the Blood Clan and break the clan protection array, I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to kill me and Ding in the Blood Clan with your current lineup. It's true that we're not enough. Even the Demon Master Chenhua, who is by my side, would find it difficult to kill either of you. But do you think that's all I'm prepared for? Jian Wushuang chuckled. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 figures walked over from the void behind him. These 2 figures were Elder Darkbone and Life Fall King. Ha, Blood Master, right? I've never met you before. However, the previous 3 chiefs of your Blood Clan have met me many times. Elder Darkbone's laughter echoed in this world. The moment the Blood Master saw Elder Darkbone, his pupils shrank. You are Elder Darkbone? The Blood Master's face changed drastically. How can that be? I thought you never cared about the fights between the forces of the Divine Beginning Realm. Why are you willing to help Heavenly Sword Marquis now? It's up to me whether I want to join the fights between the forces of the Divine Beginning Realm or not. If I'm willing to help Heavenly Sword Marquis, who in the Divine Beginning Realm can do anything about it? Elder Darkbone sneered. Hearing Elder Darkbone's reply, the Blood Master and De Ying's faces became extremely ugly. Chapter 3493 Yama. Previously, Jian Wushuang only had one Demon Master, Demon Master Chenhua. Although he was also at the pinnacle of the 6th realm of the void, they were not too afraid of him. After all, it was almost impossible for Demon Master Chenhua to kill them alone. Even if he used a magic formation to trap them completely, he could not kill them. However, it would be completely different if there was an old monster named Elder Darkbone. Elder Darkbone was an old monster from the same era as the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master and the Temporal Temple Master. He had lived for too long and his strength was unfathomable. Most importantly, Elder Darkbone's methods were endless. He was famous for this. Even Saint Realm Masters did not dare to look down on him. One could imagine how terrifying this Elder Darkbone was. In the hearts of the Blood Master and Ding, Elder Darkbone's threat to them was undoubtedly incomparable to that of Demon Master Chenhua. Even if 2 Demon Masters of the Chenhua realm were tied together, in their eyes, they could not compare to Elder Darkbone. Under such circumstances, Elder Darkbone still had to join hands with Demon Master Chenhua to deal with them? Alright, stop talking nonsense with them. Let's just attack, Jian Wushuang said. Our targets are only the Blood Master and Daing. However, this is the ancestor land of the Blood Clan. As one of the 4 great divine clans, the Blood Clan has many Principals Masters. Although these Principals Masters are not very strong, they can still cause us a lot of trouble if they join hands. So, Life Fall King, please help us, Elder Darkbone said with a smile. Sure. Life Fall King did not refuse. With a wave of his hand, a purplish-green jade pot appeared in his hand. This purplish-green jade pot did not give off any shocking true treasure aura. It looked ordinary. However, the moment Life Fall King took out the jade pot and opened its lid, Hong. Beams of purplish-green light shot out in all directions like a spider web with the jade pot as its core. These purplish-green rays of light swept toward the many principals masters of the Blood Clan like a spider web. The sudden turn of events gave these principals masters of the Blood Clan a fright. They immediately attacked, wanting to shatter or block this purplish-green ray of light. Then, this purplish-green ray of light was incomparably tyrannical. Whenever it appeared in front of a principal's master, it would immediately wrap around this principal's master at a terrifying speed. However, no matter how this principal's master struggled, he could not get rid of the light beam. Even the principal's masters of the 5 void realms among the Blood Clan who were stronger could not get rid of the purplish-green light beam. They were also wrapped up and formed one purplish-green cocoon after another. In a short moment, all the principal's masters of the Blood Clan were trapped in the purplish-green cocoon. This is, Jian Wushuang and the others were secretly shocked by what they saw. At the same time, they were deeply impressed by the fact that they were masters of the divine realm. Even though the masters of the divine realm from the outside world were greatly restricted and could not show their peak strength, their skills were still impressive. Now, they could easily restrain all the principal's masters of the Blood Clan with just a random item. Such skills were indeed incomparable to those of the principal's masters. These small characters have already been temporarily bound by me. Now, it's up to you guys. Life Fall King laughed. Demon Master Chenhua, let's make our move. Elder Dark Bone glanced at Demon Master Chenhua. Demon Master Chenhua nodded slightly, and then, so. These 2 ultimate experts of the 6 states of the void attacked at the same time. Both of them turned into streaks of light and appeared in front of the Blood Master and Ing respectively. The 2 of them picked one opponent each and began to kill. The Blood Master and Ing naturally would not give up without a fight. The 2 of them immediately used all their skills to defend. What was worth mentioning was that Demon Master Chenhua was fighting the Blood Master, and Ying's combat strength was not at its peak. He could only use 70% of his strength, and he was fighting the even more terrifying Elder Dark Bone. Even at her peak, De Ing would probably find it difficult to survive against Elder Dark Bone, let alone now. Elder Dark Bone had only casually attacked, but in just 2 short exchanges, De Ing felt an enormous life and death crisis. This won't do. Elder Dark Bone is too strong. Even if he casually attacked now, I wouldn't be able to hold on. The moment he puts in a bit of effort, I might be instantly killed by him. De Ing was incomparably terrified. She did not dare to continue fighting with Elder Dark Bone. She immediately looked at the black-robed man who had been standing at the edge of the battlefield. Yama, why aren't you attacking? Deng shouted in a low voice. Yama? Jian Wushuang frowned and fixed his eyes on the black-robed man. When he had just entered the ancestors' land of the Blood Clan and met the Blood Master, he had already noticed the black-robed man next to the Blood Master. This was because the aura emitted by this black-robed man was very strange. Just like the previous Demon Master Chenhua, he could not sense it at all. The method of concealing one's aura was so tyrannical. His strength was definitely not weak. And now, along with De Ying's cry for help, a helpless voice came from under the black robe. I originally thought that with the Blood Master and De Ing, the 2 strongest experts at the peak of the 6 states of the void, there would be no need for me to make a move. But now, it seems that it is still not enough. After the black-robed man finished speaking, his body moved in a strange manner and arrived beside De Ing. At the same time, he blocked the attack that Elder Darkbone had casually unleashed. Even though he blocked it, Elder Darkbone's casual attack was so powerful that it was frightening. The black-robed man was immediately forced back. Kiki, as expected of Elder Darkbone. His strength is really frightening. The black-robed man laughed coldly. If my guess is correct, you should be Yama from the Sorcerer God sect, right? Elder Darkbone looked at the black-robed man calmly. He was not the least bit surprised that the black-robed man was able to receive his attack. It is me. I am truly flattered to be able to say my name from Elder Darkbone's mouth. The black-robed man laughed. Hee hee, don't be humble. In the Sorcerer God sect, other than the Sorcerer God and that mysterious prophet, your status should be the highest, and your strength is only second to the two of them. Although I rarely interact with the Sorcerer God sect, I have heard of you, Yama, Elder Darkbone said with a smile. It's just that I don't know when the Sorcerer God sect has become together with the Blood Clan. Today, you still want to stand up for the Blood Clan in this daying? I don't want to either. However, the Blood Clan and our Sorcerer God's sect did have some history before. Now that everyone is attacking the Blood Clan in such a grand manner and I happen to be present, I can't just pretend that I didn't see it, right? The black-robed fella laughed. Chapter 3494 Fantasy Secret Skill. Now the question is, Elder Darkbone, and everyone here, can we give up on this for the sake of the Sorcerer God sect? Pluto looked around at Jian Wushuang and the others and said calmly. Outside the battlefield, Jian Wushuang, Shower, and Spirit Ancestors' faces darkened. They had thought that the trip to the Blood Clan would be a success and that no major changes would occur. They had not expected that the Sorcerer God's sect would get involved in this matter. The Sorcerer God's sect was an extremely terrifying force. Its leader, the Sorcerer God, was a ruler-level expert. The black-robed Pluto, who appeared in front of them, seemed to have reached the peak of the 6 void realms based on his aura. He knew that he was standing in front of Elder Darkbone, however, he did not show any fear. Obviously, he had the confidence to face Elder Darkbone. However, it was impossible for them to give up this plan. Sorcerer God's sect? Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold. The Sorcerer God's sect alone is not powerful enough to stop us. Yes, in today's battle, Da-Ing and the Blood Master will die. Unless your Sorcerer God comes, you alone cannot stop us, Shower said. The Sorcerer God comes personally? It has been hundreds of years, but I wonder if his injuries have all been healed? Jian Wushuang sneered. In the battle on the Sa Island, he had received the power of the entire Bloodwave realm from Bloodwave. His strength had soared, and he had fought against the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God alone. He had also used his most powerful killing move. He had severely injured the two of them. This battle was also the battle that made Jian Wushuang famous. Although it had been hundreds of years and the two of them had certainly recovered from their injuries, Jian Wushuang had brought up this matter to expose the scars of the Sorcerer God sect. Is that so? That's a pity. Pluto sighed and said slowly, since you don't want to leave, I can only try my best to stop you. With just you. Underworld Emperor looked at Pluto mockingly and then slashed out with one hand. A cold blade light instantly slashed out. This blade light, even if it was not used by a supreme treasure divine weapon, the instant it burst out, it still easily tore open space. The blade light carried a sharp power that seemed to be able to tear apart everything in the world. It even made the surrounding spectators jump in fear. His strength had reached Elder Darkbone's level, and he could destroy the world with just a raise of his hand. Seeing the blade light attacking, the Underworld Emperor was unmoved. Under his black robe, a strange smile spread out. What? The cold blade light directly passed through the Underworld Emperor's body, but it didn't touch any physical body. Instead, it completely passed through the Underworld Emperor's body. Oh! Underworld Emperor raised his brows and looked at Pluto with a hint of surprise. Thanks. In the Divine Beginning realm, everyone knows that Elder Darkbone, your strength is tyrannical and your methods are amazing. Even the masters of the Saint realm wouldn't dare to underestimate you. I, Pluto, also know my own limits. Of course, I'm not your opponent in a head-on fight. However, as long as I don't fight you head-on, I'm afraid that you won't be able to do anything to me, said Pluto with a strange smile. I've clearly locked onto his god body. He didn't dodge when the saber light slashed at him, but this saber light didn't touch him. It's really strange, muttered Underworld Emperor, then he slashed again with his right hand. The same saber light flew out again. However, the moment this saber light flew out, it split into 9. There were 9 saber lights, and each of them was extremely sharp. Moreover, they slashed at Pluto from 9 different directions at the same time. However, The Underworld Emperor still smiled. His body did not move at all. In the end, the 9 blade lights still did not touch anything substantial and passed through the Elder Darkbone's body. This scene caused Elder Darkbone's expression to change slightly. The surprise in his eyes became even denser. Could it be that the person in front of you is not your actual body but merely an illusory body? Underworld Emperor frowned and asked, "Huh, Elder Darkbone, you really have good eyesight." Underworld Emperor laughed. Then, more and more strange black-robed figures appeared beside him. These black-robed figures, whether it was their appearance or the aura they emitted, were exactly the same as Underworld Emperor. Whether it was with the naked eye or soul perception, one could not tell the difference between them. However, these strange black-robed figures continued to appear, dozens, hundreds, and nearly 1,000. In a short while, nearly 1,000 black-robed figures appeared in the world. Each of them looked exactly like Pluto, and even their aura was the same. Jian Wushuang stood outside the battlefield and was shocked to see the thousands of black-robed figures appearing in the void in front of him. Because in his perception, any one of these black-robed figures was extremely powerful. It was a complete scene with Yama. He could not figure out which of these black-robed figures was Yama's real body. Illusion body secret skill? Elder Darkbone could not help laughing when he saw the scene around him. These illusions are so interesting that even I can't tell if they are real or fake. Elder Darkbone, I told you that I'm not your opponent in a head-on fight. However, it won't be a problem if I keep you busy. Now that I'm standing in front of you, you can think of a way to find my real body. Or you can ignore me and continue to kill Ding. However, you have to get rid of me first. Pluto smiled faintly. Let's give it a try. Elder Darkbone casually moved his body. His terrifying speed, which Jian Wushuang could not see clearly, suddenly burst out. There was almost no trace left in the world. But suddenly, one of the nearly 1,000 black-robed figures struck out with lightning speed and a sharp claw attacked the void in front of him. This claw was clearly aimed at the empty space. However, just as the claw was about to land in that empty space, Elder Darkbone's figure suddenly appeared. This claw was coincidentally aimed at Elder Darkbone, causing him to be unable to immediately wave his hand to block it. Naturally, Elder Darkbone's figure was also blocked. After his figure was blocked, Elder Darkbone's expression finally became a little grave. You can keep up with my speed and even stop me in time. Your method is indeed powerful. It's just a small trick. It can't threaten you at all, Elder Darkbone. But as I said, it's almost impossible for you to break through my obstruction and kill Ding. Yama laughed. Chapter 3495, Fantasy Alliance, Song Heaven World. Yama was very confident. Although he was not Elder Darkbone's opponent and did not dare to fight him directly, he was confident that Elder Darkbone would not be able to do anything to him. Moreover, if he tried his best to stop him, Elder Darkbone would not be able to get away from him and get the chance to kill Ding. It seems like this old man is indeed having a hard time getting past you. Elder Darkbone nodded, but then he laughed. I didn't expect that after roaming the Divine Beginning Realm for so long, I would one day be stopped by a peak level 6 Void Realm expert. Moreover, there's nothing I can do. Underworld Emperor, you're really capable. You flatter me, but the truth is right in front of us. Elder Darkbone, and everyone here, listen to my advice and leave, said Underworld Emperor. However, upon hearing this, Elder Darkbone laughed even more happily. Interesting, this is really interesting. Beside the battlefield, Life Fall King, who had his hands behind his back, also smiled and said, Elder Darkbone, you have lost a lot of face this time. I have no choice. This old man did not expect that this Underworld Emperor actually knew the illusory heaven technique of the Fantasy Alliance. Moreover, he has already cultivated this secret technique to the great success stage. All the illusory bodies and the original body have long merged into one and can change at any time. I really can't do anything to him, said Elder Darkbone casually. Well, it's strange that he has cultivated the illusionary heaven skill to the profound realm. It's worthy of being one of the 6 secret skills of the Fantasy Alliance. Life Fall King nodded. Elder Darkbone and Life Fall King were talking to each other. They seemed to be having a pleasant conversation, which confused Jian Wushuang, Shower, and Spirit Ancestor. Pluto's face darkened. How? How do you know the secret skill I used? And you know that I used the secret skill from the Fantasy Alliance? Elder Darkbone and Life Fall King looked at each other and laughed even more happily. Ha, Pluto, it's not your fault. Although I've been in the universe battlefield for a long time, I've never been to the Fantasy Alliance before, so I don't know the secret skill of the Fantasy Alliance. However, by chance, I've made a good friend. He's the one who came with me this time, Life Fall King. Elder Darkbone laughed. Life Fall King, introduce yourself. Sure. Life Fall King nodded slightly and looked at Pluto. He said in a low voice, I come from the Tsang Heaven World, which is right next to the Fantasy Alliance. Besides, the Tsang Heaven World and the Fantasy Alliance have always been mortal enemies. Since we are mortal enemies, of course I know some secret techniques of the Fantasy Alliance, and I know them very well. What? Pluto was shocked. He looked at Life Fall King in shock. This person in front of him came from the universe battlefield, and just happened to come from the Fantasy Alliance's mortal enemy, the Tsang Heaven World? Pluto, now you know. Elder Darkbone continued to laugh. I have been with Life Fall King for a long time. During our conversation, I naturally heard about the Fantasy Alliance. Of course, I also heard about the Fantasy Sky technique. Therefore, when you used this secret technique, Life Fall King probably recognized it at a glance. After I used 2 slashes consecutively, I also confirmed that it was this secret technique. Humph. Even if you know the origin of my secret technique, so what? You still can't get around me to kill Ding. Pluto said coldly. Oh, is that so? Elder Darkbone grinned. Idiot. Life Fall King laughed disdainfully. Our Tsang Heaven World and the Fantasy Alliance are mortal enemies. Both sides have been fighting for many years, so we already know everything. The few powerful secret techniques of the Fantasy Alliance, including their weaknesses, do you think that Tsang Heaven World doesn't know? You can use this secret technique to deal with other people, even if you want to deal with Elder Darkbone, but you shouldn't have used it. You shouldn't have used it in front of me. However, it's not your fault. The Fantasy Alliance is extremely far away from the Divine Beginning realm. It's because I've been wandering in the universe all year round that I came here and met Elder Darkbone. Under normal circumstances, the Divine Beginning realm, the Fantasy Alliance, or the Tsang Heaven World wouldn't have any contact with each other. Moreover, there are very few experts in the Fantasy Alliance, and most of their time is spent cultivating in the Fantasy Alliance. They rarely move around in the universe battlefield. Even if you want to move around, you have to at least reach the pinnacle of the Principal's Masters, and you obviously haven't reached that level yet. That is to say, you aren't a powerful warrior or disciple of the Fantasy Alliance at all. You just happen to get the Fantasy Sky technique left behind by the Fantasy Alliance and are good at cultivating this secret technique. Otherwise, if you knew that I was present, you wouldn't have dared to say such words just now. Hearing these words, Pluto suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart. That was right, he was not a powerful warrior of the Fantasy Alliance. He had never been to the Fantasy Alliance. He did not even know where the Fantasy Alliance was. He had only learned this secret technique by chance when he was adventuring in the universe battlefield. And now he was pointed out by Life Fall King. And it was obvious that Life Fall King knew how to deal with the Illusion Sky technique. Life Fall King. Although this person isn't a disciple of the Fantasy Alliance, he has cultivated the Illusion Sky technique of the Fantasy Alliance after all. So, he has more or less been related to the Fantasy Alliance. Then, this matter is related to you from the Tsang Heaven World. So, I'll leave this underworld emperor to you. How about it? Elder Darkbone said with a strange smile. Sure. Life Fall King did not refuse. Before this, he did not care much about killing Da Ying or the Blood Clan leader. The reason why he came was because of Elder Darkbone. Even if he attacked, it was just to give face to Elder Darkbone. But now, the person in front of him was related to the Fantasy Alliance. That was his own matter. Those who are related to the Fantasy Alliance must die. Life Fall King's eyes were cold as he stared at Pluto. He waved his hand and a strange black pearl was thrown out. This pearl appeared on the battlefield before it exploded. As the pearl exploded, a strange power spread in the surrounding void space. As this power spread, the 1,000 figures gathered by Pluto started to dim. What's going on? The Underworld Emperor was shocked when he saw the scene around him. In just a short while, the black-robed figures around him disappeared completely, leaving only his original body standing there. The Underworld Emperor's expression was ugly. He wanted to use the illusory heaven technique again, but he immediately found that there seemed to be some special things in the void around him that prevented him from forming an illusion. He could not even form one illusion, let alone the thousands of illusions. At this moment, the Life Fall King's voice sounded. I said that your illusion sky technique won't work before I'm full. Chapter 3496 Sorcerer God, Scum of the Fantasy Alliance, Die. Life Fall King's voice was cold and murderous as he pointed out with a finger. This finger carried a strange power. The moment he pointed out, the void in front of him shattered. A huge and dark vortex appeared out of thin air. This vortex was vast and boundless, like a prehistoric giant beast that was crazily devouring everything around it. Following that, from within the vortex, a huge dark finger that seemed to extend from boundless hell charged toward the Underworld Emperor with destructive power. The Underworld Emperor stood there and looked at the huge dark finger that extended in front of him. His expression changed greatly in fear. This power, the pinnacle of the 6 states of the void, it is at least at the pinnacle of the 6 states of the void. It is even stronger than the blade light of Elder Darkbone. How is this possible? How can there be an existence stronger than Elder Darkbone among the experts present today? Pluto growled. He frantically tried to use his illusory heaven technique, but it was useless. He wanted to dodge the giant finger, but he was horrified to find that the giant dark finger had completely locked him down, preventing him from moving at all. He could only watch as the giant finger of darkness continued to enlarge in front of him. In the end, the giant finger of darkness was not affected at all and directly struck Pluto. Bang! A low rumble sounded, and the void shook. After the giant finger of darkness displayed its full power, it slowly dissipated in the world. At this moment, Pluto's body had already been pushed to the ground by the giant finger. Even the ground had a huge hole. Pluto was at the bottom of the hole. He struggled to stand up slowly, however, his expression was no longer as relaxed as before. There was a miserable and pathetic look on his face. The black robe on his body was formed from a protective treasure. However, it was in tatters now. There was still blood on his body and the corner of his mouth. Especially the aura on his body. Compared to before, it was weakened by more than 40%. Too powerful. One attack has consumed more than 40% of my divine power. If I use this attack twice more, I will definitely die. Pluto raised his head and looked at Life Fall King with fear. Life Fall King frowned. He murmured, "The restriction of this world is too great for me. I can't even use 10% of my strength. I can't even kill an ant at the peak of the 6th void realm with one attack." Life Fall King was not satisfied with the result of his attack. However, the surrounding people, such as Jian Wushuang and the others, had long been amazed. As expected of a ruler-level expert, even an outsider, whose strength is limited by the power of the will of heaven, cannot exert more than 10% of his strength. However, even with less than 10% of his strength, he can still easily crush Pluto and cause him to lose more than 40% of his divine power in one attack. I'm afraid that even Elder Darkbone cannot match his strength. Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart. Previously, Life Fall King said that he was too restricted and that the strength he could display in the divine beginning realm was not that great, so he could not count on him for this move. But now, it seemed that Life Fall King was too modest. Or it could be said that previously, Life Fall King did not have anything to do with him, so he did not want to personally make a move, so he deliberately said this. But now, because it involved the Fantasy Alliance, he had to personally make a move. The strength he displayed immediately frightened everyone. Life Fall King, Your opponent is just a little guy at the peak of the 6th level of the void. Don't lose face in front of so many people. Elder Darkbone laughed weirdly. Humph, do I still need you to say it? Life Fall King's eyes turned cold, and a suffocating pressure suddenly erupted from his body. Die! Life Fall King pointed his finger out again. This finger crushed the time and space in the world. In an instant, a dark demon god that was over 30,000 feet tall appeared in the void. This dark demon god had 3 eyes. The third eye shot out a strange purple beam of light. With a violent swing of its huge arm, a huge fist that was like a huge, boundless dark star appeared. It carried an incomparable impact force and attacked Pluto ferociously. This dark star was even more powerful than the dark finger that Life Fall King had just used. Clearly, Life Fall King was serious. He had pushed the power that he could use in the divine beginning realm to the extreme. Visit Readel. Me for extra chapters. The dark star formed by this punch made Pluto's expression change drastically. One had to know that Life Fall King's finger had used up more than 40% of his divine power. And now, this even stronger punch was likely enough to destroy all of his remaining divine power. Save me! Master, save me! Pluto knew that he could not block that punch. He would most likely die in that punch. Thus, he did not have the slightest intention to block it. Instead, he directly crushed a dark green token in his hand. Moreover, he let out a series of explosive roars. The moment that Command Talisman shattered, a majestic aura instantly rose up and filled the void. When that dark demon god's fist smashed over, circles of dark air currents also blocked it. When that dark demon god's fist smashed against the dark air currents, it was as though it had smashed into cotton. It did not cause too much of a commotion, but its power was completely neutralized. Oh! Life Fall King frowned and raised his head to look ahead. Life Fall King, with your status and strength, you actually attacked one of my subordinates. Isn't that a little too much? Within the dark chi flow, a hearty laughter rang out. Following that, a hazy figure slowly appeared in front of everyone. This hazy figure was quite tall, and the aura it emitted was extremely unique. As for its appearance, no one could see it clearly. However, even if no one could see his face clearly, they could still guess his identity. Sorcerer God. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. The Sorcerer God's sect had always stood together with the 3 Saint Realms. Back on the Sa Island, the Sorcerer God had appeared and killed him together with the 3 Masters of the Saint Realm, but he had been repelled by him. Now, Jian Wushuang saw the Sorcerer God again. However, judging from his appearance, the Sorcerer God should be just a consciousness avatar, not the real body. Sorcerer God, are you going to stop me? Life Fall King stared at the Sorcerer God coldly. No matter what, Yama is my subordinate. If you want to kill him, I can't pretend that I didn't see it, the Sorcerer God said with a faint smile. So, you want to make an enemy of me and the Tsang Heaven world? Life Fall King said coldly. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3497 The Final Kill, Making an Enemy Out of You, Making an Enemy Out of the Tsang Heaven World? The Sorcerer God frowned. To be honest, he was not afraid of a single Life Fall King, but if it was the entire Tsang Heaven World, then it would be completely different. The Tsang Heaven World was an extremely powerful force even in the universe battlefield. Although it was quite far away from the divine beginning realm, the influence of the Tsang Heaven World could still reach here. If they really became enemies with the entire Tsang Heaven World, there were quite a number of ruler-level experts in the Tsang Heaven World, and there were quite a number of them who were stronger than him. Some of the top existences among them even had the qualifications to kill him directly. Hence, the Sorcerer God was more or less afraid of the Tsang Heaven World. Life Fall King, although we haven't had much contact before, I still know your great name and the Tsang Heaven World behind you. Your Tsang Heaven World is the mortal enemy of the Fantasy Alliance, and am clear about this. However, this subordinate of mine isn't a member of the Fantasy Alliance. If I say that protecting him is equivalent to offending the entire Tsang heaven world, isn't that a little unreasonable? The sorcerer god said in a low voice. What a joke! This subordinate of yours has cultivated the illusory heaven technique of the Fantasy Alliance. How can he not be considered a member of the Fantasy Alliance? Even if he isn't, he has a great relationship with the Fantasy Alliance. Our Tsang heaven world naturally has to be killed. Life Fall King said coldly. Pluto has cultivated the illusory heaven technique, but this is just a fortuitous encounter where he obtained the cultivation method of the Fantasy Heaven technique. He has never had any contact with the Fantasy Alliance. You should be able to see this point. After all, if he really had any contact with the Fantasy Alliance, he would have long been brought to the Fantasy Alliance's lair to cultivate. Why would he stay under my command? Sorcerer God said. Who knows why he would stay under your command? In any case, kill him just in case. Life Fall King snorted coldly. Life Fall King. The sorcerer god's voice became gloomy. I have already explained it over and over again. Do you still want to be so aggressive? Alright, I will tell you now. This Yama King is my sole slave. He has long been controlled by my consciousness and is my most loyal servant. You should also know a little about my background. I have nothing to do with the Fantasy Alliance. Soul slave. Life Fall King's expression changed, and there was a hint of surprise between his brows. If Pluto was only a subordinate of the sorcerer god, then Life Fall King had a reason to kill him. But if it was the sorcerer god's soul slave, then Pluto's consciousness was completely controlled by the sorcerer god. Then it did not matter whether Pluto was related to the Fantasy Alliance or not. As long as the sorcerer god did not have any entanglement with the Fantasy Alliance, it would be fine. As for the sorcerer god's background, of course, Life Fall King knew some things. Indeed, he would not have any entanglement with the Fantasy Alliance. Sorcerer god, you said that he was your sole slave. How do you prove this? Life Fall King asked. It's very simple. I asked him not to resist. You just need to use your soul power to check if he has my soul imprint in his body, the sorcerer god said. But before you check, I have to warn you. Don't do anything to him in the dark. After all, this slave is quite useful to me. If you dare to do something to him in the dark, then even if you are from the Tsang heaven world, I will have a way to make you pay the price. After all, this is the divine beginning realm. The restrictions you have here are much greater than mine. Don't worry. If he really is your soul slave, then I won't do anything to him. Life Fall King nodded. Then, a wave of soul power directly covered Pluto. Pluto did not resist. In just a moment, Life Fall King withdrew that wave of soul power. How is it? Sorcerer God looked over. You're right. He is indeed your soul slave. In that case, I won't make things difficult for him for your sake, Life Fall King said. That's good. The sorcerer god nodded slightly. But at this moment, Jian Wushuang spoke. Sorcerer god, Life Fall King was generous and did not kill your soul slave. But today's matter has nothing to do with your sorcerer god sect. If you still want to get involved, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep your soul slave. What Jian Wushuang said was the truth. Although Life Fall King would not attack again, because Life Fall King had just broken Yama's illusion sky skill and the power of the pearl was still surrounding the surrounding void in this place, Yama would not be able to use the illusion sky skill again. As long as there was no illusion sky skill, Elder Darkbone could easily defeat or kill him. As for the sorcerer god himself, he was just a consciousness clone. His combat strength was not very strong, so he did not have much influence on the situation on the battlefield. Heavenly Sword Mark. The sorcerer god looked at Jian Wushuang with a strange look in his eyes and then smiled. Little guy, last time I suffered a great loss at your hands. I thought I would not be able to deal with you so quickly. I did not expect that things would be unpredictable. Now we have seen it. That's because you're too lenient. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so much trouble, Jian Wushuang said. Maybe, but today's matter doesn't have much to do with us. Originally, we just wanted to be a peacemaker, but we didn't expect to get into such a situation. Well, since we can't be good people, we won't get involved in this matter. Do whatever you want. Goodbye. The sorcerer god said, his figure disappeared. As for Yama, because of the existence of the Netherjade 5 kill array, he could not leave directly. He simply flew to the edge of the void and closed his eyes, no longer paying attention to the matter in front of him. Visit Readel. Me for extra chapters. When the sorcerer god's consciousness avatar disappeared, it was clear that Yama did not intend to attack again. This made the Blood Master and Daing immediately despair. Despair. Yes, despair. Without other helpers, how could the two of them resist Elder Darkbone and Demon Master Chenhua? Not to mention the Netherjade 5 kill formation and Jian Wushuang's existence. They could not escape from the inescapable net and had almost no hope of survival. Blood Master and Daing, you two should go on your way as soon as possible, Jian Wushuang said coldly. Elder Darkbone and Demon Master Chenhua both smiled coldly. They immediately attacked Blood Master and Daing. No, no. It's over, it's over. Blood Master and Daing had completely lost hope. The only thing they could do now was to try their best to survive longer. However, their efforts were clearly in vain. After all, the gap between them was too big. Daing was already heavily injured and his strength was greatly reduced. Under the attack of Elder Darkbone, he could not hold on for long before he was directly killed by Elder Darkbone. Then, Elder Darkbone joined hands with the Demon Master Chenhua and killed the Blood Master in a very short time. From then on, both the Blood Master and Daing were killed. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3498 left Jian Wushuang and the others were very happy that their trip had ended perfectly with the death of Daing and the Blood Master, despite the unexpected incident with Yama. Especially Shower and Spirit Ancestor. For Shower, Daing was a thorn in her heart. If she could not kill him, she would not be able to control the Nine-Tailed clan in peace. But now that Daing was dead, this thorn in her heart was gone. In the future, she would naturally be able to do whatever she wanted. Only then would her long-term goal be truly accomplished. As for the Spirit Ancestor, her killing intent toward the Blood Master was unprecedentedly strong. The Blood Master had a grudge against her for killing her husband. For countless years, the Spirit Ancestor had dreamed of killing him, but now he had finally succeeded. He's dead. He's finally dead. This bastard is finally dead. Husband, you can finally rest in peace. Spirit Ancestor laughed. Her laughter was filled with madness, and her eyes were wet with tears. When the people around saw this, they also secretly sighed. Elder Darkbone, Demon Master Chenhua, Markiduan Yu, and others had also removed the Netherjade 5 kill formation and walked over. Everyone, thank you for your help this time. Marquis, I'm very grateful, Jian Wushuang said solemnly. Axe 1 Master, Markiduan Yu, and Star Saint Master looked at each other and smiled. They had long received orders from Star Palace Master to help Jian Wushuang with all their strength, so they would do their best. As for Elder Darkbone, he just smiled faintly. Little guy, don't be too polite. I'm not helping you for free. You have to remember that you owe me a favor this time. You have to pay me back in the future. Of course. In the future, no matter what your orders are, as long as I can do it, I won't refuse, Jian Wushuang said. Don't worry. You'll definitely help me soon, Elder Darkbone said with a strange smile. Well, since we're done here, I'll leave with Life Fall King. This is my message token. I'll use it to contact you when I ask for your help in the future. Elder Darkbone handed a message token to Jian Wushuang, then he left with Life Fall King. Jian Wushuang looked at Xiao. Miss Shower, Daing is dead. There will be no more trouble in the Nine-Tailed clan. You can control the Nine-Tailed clan without any worries. Now that the Blood Master is dead, the Blood clan will be in chaos. If you are ambitious, you can take the opportunity to attack the Blood clan and continue to strengthen your strength. Blood clan, Shower narrowed her eyes and shook her head. During this period of time, the demon realm has changed too much. Because of my previous actions, the Nine-Tailed clan has become the focus of attention. The various races in the demon realm, Including the other two great divine clans, the Ancient Clan and the Dark World Clan have already been on guard against the Nine-Tailed Clan. If our clan continues to attack the Blood Clan at this time, it will be very easy for us to become the target of everyone in the demon realm. It's better not to act rashly for the time being. Please keep reading on MYB0XN0VIL, D0T, C0M. Besides, although the Blood Master is dead, the overall strength and foundation of the Blood Clan are still there. It's not easy for the Nine-Tailed Clan to swallow the Blood Clan. It's up to you to decide. As for me, I've done my best to help you. Now that the troubles of the Nine-Tailed Clan have been solved, I can leave, Jian Wushuang said. You're leaving in such a hurry? Xiao was surprised. Yes, I've killed the Blood Master and fulfilled the agreement with the Spirit Ancestor. I'll go back to the second heaven immediately to finish the thing that's important to me. I've been waiting for that for too long, so I don't want to delay it, Jian Wushuang said. Okay, but your parents? Xiao looked at him and asked. They've been in the demon realm for a long time, so they're used to it. Besides, my second brother has just married Princess Ying of the Blood Marten clan, so he hasn't thought about leaving yet. In that case, let them stay in the demon realm for now. After a while, I'll personally pick them up and bring them back to the Endless Territory, Jian Wushuang said. Jian Wushuang had asked Zhui Yunfeng, Luo Xinqin, and the others when they came to the demon realm. They had been in the demon realm for thousands of years and were used to it. Although they were looking forward to returning to their hometown, they were not in a hurry. Visit Rieadel. Me for extra chapters. Moreover, Zhuo Peng and Princess Ying had just married, so they were not in a hurry to go back. Therefore, Jian Wushuang had decided not to take them back to the Sorcerer God's realm for the time being. He would personally escort them back to the Sorcerer God's realm after his business was over. Miss Xiao, I'll get rid of you for the time being and continue to take care of them for a while, Jian Wushuang said. Don't worry. As long as the Nine-Tailed Clan is still around, no one can touch them, Xiao said. Thank you, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Then he looked at Axe One Master, Marquis Duan Yu, and Star Saint Master and asked, What are your plans? We've already said that we'll listen to your arrangements for the time being. However, our identities are a little sensitive, so it's not suitable for us to move around in the primordial divine realm. Therefore, we'll return to Star Palace first. If you have any instructions, you can send us a message at any time. We'll be there immediately, Axe One Master said. In that case, you'll have to trouble the three of you, Jian Wushuang said. Axe One Master smiled and the three of them turned to leave. Jian Wushuang heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Axe One Master and the other two leave. Axe One Master, Marquis Duan Yu, Star Saint Master. These three are experts from Star Palace, which was created by Taoist Xian Shen and has a very delicate relationship with the Seven Stars mysterious sect. The reason why they did their best to help me and even said that they were willing to follow my orders was because of my identity. However, from their actions, I can tell that I am very important to the Seven-Star mysterious sect and the Star Palace. However, Axe One Master just said that their identities are very sensitive and that it is not suitable for them to move around in the Divine Beginning realm. It seems like the three great saint domains also know about the existence of the Star Palace and are extremely against it. However, the three great saint realms clearly know about the existence of the Star Palace, yet they are unable to do anything to it. This also shows that the power of the Star Palace is definitely not weak. The Star Palace's strength was not weak. This point could be seen from Axe One Master and the other two. To send out 3-6 Void Realm Principles Masters at once, how many people in the Divine Beginning realm could achieve such an ability? It seems that if I have the chance in the future, I will have to personally go to the Star Palace to take a look. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3499 20,000 years the dust had settled in the Blood Clan. Jian Wushuang and the others had also left the Blood Clan. After greeting Zhui Yunfeng and the others, Jian Wushuang planned to leave the demon realm and go to the supreme emotion-forgetting valley. When he left, Jian Wushuang glanced at Demon Master Chenhua and asked, "Chenhua, are you really going to leave your disciple alone in the demon realm?" "Of course." Demon Master Chenhua nodded. "I've taught him many things and given him many opportunities over the years. His strength has improved a lot, so it's time for him to go on his own. After all, the level of our contact is too high for him. If he continues to follow us, he won't get any experience on the way. It's better for him to go on his own. It'll be more effective." "That's true, but he's still weak. The demon realm is too chaotic, and the experts are too weak. Isn't it too dangerous for him to travel alone?" Jian Wushuang said. "Humph, so what if it's dangerous? If you want to become a real expert, which one of you didn't come through a mountain of knives and a sea of fire? I was like that in the past. Aren't you the same?" Demon Master Chenhua glanced at Jian Wushuang. "You're right." Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. After explaining, Jian Wushuang, Demon Master Chenhua, and Spirit Ancestor went directly to the second heaven. When Jian Wushuang entered the third heaven, the power of the will of the heavenly Tao immediately sensed it. Now that he left the third heaven, the power of the will of the heavenly Tao also knew about it. It was transmitted to the few masters of the Saint Realm. In the vast chaotic void, 4 hazy figures gathered together. These 4 people were naturally the 3 masters of the Saint Realm and the Sorcerer God. "We just received the news from the power of the will of heaven. Heavenly Sword Marquis has returned to the second heaven," Flame Saint Master said. "Has he finally left?" Life and Death Saint Master asked in a low voice. Although Heavenly Sword Marquis didn't stay for long in the third heaven, he created huge waves in the demon realm within a short period of time. The Nine-Tailed Clan and the Blood Clan underwent drastic changes one after another. The situation in the demon realm now is completely different from before. These changes in the demon realm are nothing. I was worried that Heavenly Sword Marquis would think of ways to take revenge on the 3 great saint regions after he came to the third heaven. But now, it seems that he still has a trace of rationality and didn't attack the 3 great saint realms, Destruction Saint Master said. That's because he isn't stupid. Even though the 3 great saint realms cannot do anything to him, with his strength, even if he has Demon Master Chenhua by his side, he is still far from posing a threat to the 3 great saint realms. Flame Saint Realm said coldly. Just him alone and Demon Master Chenhua are naturally not enough. But what if we add Star Palace? Life and Death Saint Master suddenly spoke. Star Palace. The moment the 2 words Star Palace were mentioned, the entire primal chaos void went silent. After a long while, Life and Death Saint Master continued, Star Palace, the greatest threat to us has already begun to contact Heavenly Sword Marquis. According to the information we have received, the reason why Heavenly Sword Marquis was able to create such a huge wave in the demon realm was because of the 3 principals masters of Star Palace giving their all to help. As for the 3 principals masters of Star Palace, even though we do not know their names for the time being, we can be certain that these 3 have already reached the 6th level of the void. The 6 realms of the void, even our 3 great saint realms, can be counted with one's fingers. But this Star Palace casually sent out 3 of them. What does this mean? Flame Saint Realm and Destruction Saint Master's eyes immediately turned cold. The 6 realms of the void might not have many principals masters in the entire divine beginning realm, yet the Star Palace could send out 3 of them at once. This made them apprehensive. Back then, when I found out about the existence of this Star Palace, I had a bad premonition. Unfortunately, that mysterious god is extremely cunning. He placed the base of the Star Palace in that place, making it impossible for the powers of the 3 great saint realms to reach that place. We can only try our best to suppress the growth of this Star Palace. I did not expect that after so many years of suppression, the growth rate of this Star Palace would still be so astonishing. Until now, the power of this Star Palace is probably not much weaker than any of our saint realms. It might even be stronger. Destruction Saint Master snorted coldly. The Star Palace was indeed a huge threat to them. However, this huge threat had existed for many years, but the 3 saint realms could not do anything about it. It's useless to talk about this now. However, the Star Palace and Heavenly Sword Marquis aren't able to do anything about it. There's no need to be anxious. The three Saint Realms have already received the exact news, Flame Saint Realm said. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. The news? The others immediately looked over. What do you mean? Destruction Saint Master asked. 20,000 years, at most 20,000 years. The people there will arrive at the divine beginning realm. At that time, both Heavenly Sword Marquis and the Star Palace will be eradicated, Flame Saint Realm said. That's great. Destruction Saint Master's eyes brightened. 20,000 years, isn't that a bit too long? Life and Death Saint Master frowned. That Heavenly Sword Marquis is improving at an astonishing speed. 20,000 years, he has a lot of room to grow. See, Life and Death, aren't you overestimating that Heavenly Sword Marquis too much? Even if he is a perfect grade life form with extraordinary talent, given his current strength, given 20,000 years, how much can he grow to? Flame Saint Realm sneered. It's already very good that he can match up to a ruler like his deceased master. Don't forget that Mystic One took a very long time to reach the ruler level. Flame Saint Realm snickered. That's true. Life and Death Saint Master nodded slightly. Alright, since that's the case, well, just wait for another 20,000 years. During these 20,000 years, well, all be careful and try not to take the initiative to have any conflicts with Heavenly Sword Marquis, especially you, Sorcerer God. Destruction Saint Master looked toward the Sorcerer God who had remained silent all this while. Your Sorcerer God's sect has been a little restless all these years. And this time in the Demon Realm, I heard that your Sorcerer God's sect has also gotten involved. It's nothing. The Sorcerer God laughed dryly. It's just that one of my subordinates, the Blood Clan, has some friendship and decided on his own accord. Is that so? Destruction Saint Master glanced coldly at the Sorcerer God. Of course, the three of you have already instructed us before. Naturally, our Sorcerer God's sect will not be blind. At this critical juncture, our relationship with Heavenly Sword Marquis has soared to the sky. However, this time in the Blood Clan's matter, I've also obtained another piece of information. That is the Life Fall King from the Tsang Heaven World and Elder Darkbone. It seems that they are also on Heavenly Sword Marquis' side. The Sorcerer God said, if you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3500 Lowest Risk, Life Fall King? Elder Darkbone? Hearing these two names, even the three Saint Realm Masters' faces darkened. Life Fall King is an extremely powerful ruler from the outside world, and he also comes from the Tsang Heaven World. However, he is an expert from the outside world after all, so he will be greatly suppressed by the heavenly Tao in the divine beginning realm. His strength will also be greatly weakened. To put it bluntly, even the three of us Saint Realm Masters can easily suppress him in the divine beginning realm. If the three of us join hands, we can even kill him. He should also know this, so he shouldn't be so stupid as to stand on the side of Heavenly Sword Marquis, Flame Saint Realm said. Yes, he is a mighty ruler who can call the wind and summon the rain in the universe battlefield. There is no need for him to come to the divine beginning realm to take risks. As for the Tsang Heaven World behind him, although it isn't weak, it is too far away from the divine beginning realm. It doesn't have the right to meddle in the internal affairs of our divine beginning realm, Destruction Saint Master said. Sorcerer God, are you sure that Life Fall King is completely on Heavenly Sword Marquis' side? Life and Death Saint Master looked at Sorcerer God. Well, I can't say for sure because in the Battle of the Blood Kindred, Life Fall King didn't make a big move at first. But later, because one of my subordinates used the secret technique of the Fantasy Alliance, he decided that my subordinate had an inseparable relationship with the Fantasy Alliance, so he went all out, Sorcerer God said. That's it. Life and Death Saint Master smiled. The Fantasy Alliance and the Tsang Heaven World are mortal enemies. If he sees someone related to the Fantasy Alliance, he will not let them go. It seems like this life fall king doesn't want to meddle in the internal affairs of the divine beginning realm. He only acted because of your subordinate, destruction, Saint Master said. I knew it. A ruler shouldn't be so stupid, Flame Saint Realm snorted. You don't need to care about this life fall king, but that elder Darkbone is a little tricky, Life and Death Saint Master said coldly. When we were on Sa Island, our 3 great holy realms set up an inescapable net to kill Heavenly Sword Marquis. At that time, Elder Darkbone helped Heavenly Sword Marquis get out of danger. Although at that time, he said it was just to return a favor for his disciple, but is it really worth him to offend our 3 great holy realms with just a favor for a disciple? At that time, I felt that his actions were a little strange. This time, he appeared to help the Heavenly Sword Marquis. It seems that he is indeed on the Heavenly Sword Marquis side. It seems that this old thing is also restless. Flame Saint Realm snorted coldly. That's normal. He's someone from the same era as Temporal Temple Master and Heaven Cleaving Alliance Master. He's extremely old and has stayed in the Divine Beginning realm for God knows how many years. Moreover, his strength has already reached the peak of the Principal's Masters. With his strength reaching this level and being alone, he should have no qualms about going to the depths of the universe to explore. However, after so many years, he has been staying here. How could he not have other motives? Destruction Saint Master narrowed his eyes. Now it seems that the old ghost bone has chosen to stay. It is likely to be related to the Star Palace. This old thing. The eyes of the 3 masters of the Saint Realm were cold, but at the same time, they were helpless. Elder Darkbone was famous for his tyrannical methods. Even if he was facing a true ruler-level expert in a cosmic battlefield, he could still survive. However, in the Divine Beginning realm, just the 3 of them, it's almost impossible to kill a ghoul. Just as they could not do anything to Jian Wushuang, they could not do anything to Elder Darkbone. Forget it, let them be proud for a while. After 20,000 years, when the people there arrive, they will uproot the Star Palace, the Heavenly Sword Marquis, and the Elder Darkbone. This time, we must get rid of all the things left behind by the 7-star mysterious sect. We must not leave any trouble behind. The 3 masters of the Saint Realm had already made their decision, and they quickly disappeared into the chaotic void. As for the Sorcerer God, after the 3 masters of the Saint Realm disappeared, he also gave a strange smile and disappeared with them. Second Heaven, Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. After leaving the 3rd Heaven, Jian Wushuang, Demon Master Chenhua, and Spirit Ancestor came straight here. After they arrived, Jian Wushuang directly sent a message to the Old Valley Master, Ma Yi, who led them into the hinterland of the valley. My young friend, I heard that you have caused a lot of trouble in the demon realm recently? Ma Yi asked casually. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Yes, Senior, do you know about it? Jian Wushuang glanced at Ma Yi. Of course, although I have long ignored the matters in the valley, once something big happens in the Divine Beginning realm, someone will inform me immediately, especially you. Of course, I, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, also care about it. Ma Yi smiled. I heard that you went to the Blood Clan and killed the clan leader of the Blood Clan? If I'm not wrong, you went to kill the clan leader because of Spirit Ancestor, right? Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Killing the clan leader was a condition set by Spirit Ancestor. Now that the condition has been met, Spirit Ancestor will follow me to the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Senior Hemp E, with Spirit Ancestor's knowledge of the soul, you should be able to minimize the risk by stripping Shuang Er's soul, right? Of course, although I have stayed in the valley all year round, I have heard of the great name of the Spirit Ancestor. In the Divine Beginning realm, in terms of the attainments in the soul, the previous clan leader of the Nine-Tailed Clan, De-ing, and the Spirit Ancestor of the Heavenly Ancestor Taoist sect were the 2 strongest. However, now that De-ing is dead, the Spirit Ancestor has the highest attainments in the soul in the absolute beginning divine tribulation. If she were to take action personally, the risk would naturally be the lowest. Ma Yi smiled. In fact, De-ing had a good relationship with the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. He was also good friends with Ma Yi. When he first decided to strip Lung Rushuang's soul, Ma Yi wanted to ask De-ing for help. However, because of Jian Wushuang, he had to give up. He did not expect that the world was unpredictable and that Ding was already dead. Moreover, her death was largely caused by Jian Wushuang. However, De Ying's death was closely related to Jian Wushuang. However, Ma Yi and the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley would not have any prejudice or resentment toward Jian Wushuang after all. Their relationship with Ding was not good enough to avenge Ding. My young friend, have you prepared the 100-million-year Star Moon Agarwood? Yes. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3501 Unfamiliar. I've sent a message to Temple Master Star Moon, and she has sent someone to deliver it. It should be arriving at the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley in a few days, Jian Wushuang said. In that case, it's almost ready. As soon as the Star Moon Agarwood arrives, we can begin the soul stripping immediately, Ma Yi said. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. 3 days later, the people of the Temporal Temple had arrived at the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. The person who had arrived was Jian Wushuang's subordinate, True Pupil Master. Greetings, Inspector and Honorable Master. True Pupil Master bowed respectfully to Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua. True Pupil Master, thank you for your hard work. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. Inspector, this is what Star Moon Temple Master asked me to give you. True Pupil Master gave Jian Wushuang an interspatial ring. The interspatial ring contained the Star Moon Agarwood. Jian Wushuang took it, glanced at it, and handed it to Ma. Senior Ma Yi, how is it? Jian Wushuang asked. This Star Moon Agarwood is more than 200 million years old. It's definitely a top-grade wood, Ma Yi said. Jian Wushuang nodded with satisfaction. Then he asked, True Pupil Master, the Temporal Temple has been quiet during my absence. How is the patrol team? 1. My lord, nothing serious has happened in the Temporal Temple. Even the patrol team has been very relaxed. They sent out a patrol team a while ago, but it was just a small matter and was easily solved. Star Moon Temple Master has already told us that we won't ask you to come out for ordinary matters. As long as it's really important or urgent, we will call you back, True Pupil Master said. Jian Wushuang could not help but smile. He was the 6th inspector of the Temporal Temple, but apart from the first trip to the Purple Star Demon Sect, he was not in the camp for the rest of the time. He was not qualified to be an inspector. However, the higher-ups of the Temporal Temple knew that what he needed the most was to improve his strength. Although it was not an important matter, they would not ask him to help. Inspector, Star Moon Temple Master sent me here for another matter besides handing over the Star Moon Agarwood to you, True Pupil Master suddenly said. Oh, what is it? Jian Wushuang asked. This matter has something to do with Master Consecrator. True Pupil Master looked at Demon Master Chenhua beside him. It has something to do with me, don't tell me? Demon Master Chenhua was stunned for a moment before he revealed an excited look. Could it be that you have found information about the experts left behind by the Purple Star Demon Sect? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. Demon Master Chenhua came from the Purple Star Demon Sect. However, the Purple Star Demon Sect had been destroyed 200 million years ago by Flame Saint Master. At its peak, the Purple Star Demon Sect was an extremely powerful force and an overlord in the second heaven. It was not much weaker than the 8 Directions Heaven sect in the third heaven. Such a large sect not only had great strength, but also had an extraordinary foundation. Back then, the Flame Saint Realm used a lightning-fast method to destroy the Purple Star Demon Sect. Although they destroyed the Purple Star Demon Sect's headquarters and killed almost all the experts in the Purple Star Demon Sect's headquarters, however, those Purple Star Demon Sect experts who had been adventuring in the outside world were not killed in that great battle. Although the experts were later hunted by the Flame Saint Realm, some of them must have escaped and survived. However, under the pressure of the Flame Saint Realm, they had to live in anonymity. After Demon Master Chenhua and Jian Wushuang reached an agreement and saw the light of day again, Demon Master Chenhua became a worshipper of the Temporal Temple, the temporal temple immediately began to help Demon Master Chenhua track down the traces of the cultivators left behind by the Purple Star Demon sect. Until now, there was finally news. Our temporal temple has indeed found a portion of the experts left behind. And they are now in the second heaven, True Pupil Master said. That's great. Demon Master Chenhua clenched his hands tightly, his eyes filled with joy. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. He had once treated the Purple Star Demon sect as everything. It was precisely because of this that he was willing to be trapped in that secret realm alone for 200 million years. With his talent, 200 million years was a huge delay for him. The destruction of the Purple Star Demon sect had dealt a huge blow to him. Now, he finally received good news. He had found the experts left behind by the Purple Star Demon sect. Chenhua, congratulations. Jian Wushuang smiled and said, "It won't take long for my soul to be extracted. After everything is done here, I'll ask the True Pupil Master to take us with him." Okay. Demon Master Chenhua nodded heavily. Senior Ma Yi, Spirit Ancestor, the Star Moon Agarwood has arrived. The rest is up to you, Jian Wushuang said. Ma Yi and Spirit Ancestor looked at each other and nodded. Then they went straight to the love-forgetting peak in the supreme emotion-forgetting valley. In a cave mansion on the mountainside, Jian Wushuang finally saw his wife, Leng Rushuang. She had a familiar face and a cold aura. The peerless beauty in front of him sat calmly on the jade bed. When she saw everyone enter, she slowly opened her eyes, which were cold and emotionless. She glanced at everyone. Of course, she also glanced at Jian Wushuang, but her expression did not change at all. Shuang. Jian Wushuang's voice was hoarse, but he immediately shook his head and said, "No, she is not Shuang. She only has the same face." Jian Wushuang had long calmed down. He knew very well that the peerless beauty in front of him was indeed not his wife, but a stranger. After all, his wife's memory in her previous life had been completely sealed, but in this life, she was completely unfamiliar and did not know him at all. Even her body was from this life. His wife's real body was not this one, but the one that had been occupied by Leng Rushue in his previous life. That was his wife's real body. Therefore, when Ma Yi proposed to strip her soul, he did not refuse. He was even willing to give up his body in this life. To Jian Wushuang, Leng Rushuang's body in this life, including her consciousness, were extremely unfamiliar. They were not familiar to him. Only by stripping out the memories of his wife's previous life, along with her soul, would it truly belong to his wife. In the future, when he had the opportunity to find Leng Rushuang and seize her body, then his wife would be truly complete. Only then would she be truly complete. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3502 Divestiture. Since everything is in place, Spirit Ancestor, let's begin, Ma Yi said. Spirit Ancestor nodded. Girls, sit down. Don't resist, Ma Yi instructed. Leng Rushuang sat down. Her gaze was calm, and her expression did not change at all. Spirit Ancestor took a deep breath, and then a vast soul power covered Leng Rushuang. Jian Wushuang was not familiar with soul peeling, and his attainments in soul were not high, so he could not help. He could only watch anxiously. Unfortunately, soul peeling was done inside the soul. He could not see anything with the naked eye. But it had to be said that both Ma Yi and Spirit Ancestor had extremely high attainments in soul. It was not that they had not tried soul peeling before, so they were more familiar with the steps. Time continued to pass. After half a day, sweat could be seen on the foreheads of both Ma Yi and Spirit Ancestor. They had no choice but to concentrate on the soul and have a perfect grasp of the soul power. They did not dare to relax even a bit. After a long time, they would naturally be a little tired. But fortunately, everything went extremely smoothly. It's about time. Prepare the Star Moon Agarwood, said the Spirit Ancestor. Ma Yi immediately waved her hand, and 2 Star Moon Agarwood floated out. One of these 2 star moon agarwood came from the supreme emotion-forgetting valley. Although it was also 100 million years old, its volume wasn't too big. And the star moon agarwood from the space-time divine palace, in terms of volume, it was more than 3 times the size of the supreme emotion-forgetting valley's one, and it was even older. Just a little bit more, and it'll be completely separated. The spirit ancestor's expression was very grave. Under her control, Lung Rushwang's soul had already been divided into 2, but these 2 souls had yet to be completely separated. There was still some connection between them. But right at this moment, the spirit ancestor's gaze focused, and the soul force that she extended into Lung Rushwang's body suddenly became incomparably warm. This warm soul force was like a mother's hand. It caressed the 2 souls of Lung Rushwang. Then, the 2 souls of Lung Rushwang were completely peeled off. But a faint cyan light extended out of Lung Rushwang's body. This cyan light was the other soul that had been extracted from Lung Rushwang's body. This soul carried Lung Rushwang's memories from her previous life and was Jian Wushuang's wife's soul. "Quick, use the star moon agarwood," spirit ancestor shouted. Once the soul was extracted, the 2 souls would be at their weakest stage. They needed to use the star moon agarwood to nourish them. If they were a moment slower, they might cause damage to both of Lung Rushwang's souls. Ma Yi knew this, so she immediately controlled the 2 pieces of star moon agarwood and flew toward Lung Rushwang's body and the extracted soul. The first was the relatively small star moon agarwood. Under Ma Yi's control, it directly transformed into a vast green-colored air current that surged into Lung Rushwang's body. The other large star moon agarwood did not disintegrate. Instead, it appeared beside the green-colored light. After which, the green-colored light seemed to be attracted as it directly merged into the star moon agarwood and disappeared. It worked. Upon seeing this, Ma Yi's eyes lit up. Spirit ancestor also heaved a sigh of relief and smiled. Jian Wushuang, who had been watching the process anxiously from behind, immediately walked over and asked, "Is it over?" "My dear Heavenly Sword Marquis, I have dissected her soul according to your request. One of the pieces contains the memories of this life and the secret skill she cultivated. The other piece contains the memories of her previous life. It has been dissected and merged with the star moon agarwood," spirit ancestor said. At the same time, he brought the star moon agarwood to Jian Wushuang. "Shuang Er's soul is in the star moon agarwood?" Jian Wushuang took the wood and gently stroked it. As he touched it, he immediately felt that the star moon agarwood seemed to have a life of its own. At the same time, his soul power also sensed the soul aura in the star moon agarwood. The soul aura indeed belonged to his wife. It did not contain any impurities, nor did it contain any memories of this life. It was completely the same as the soul aura of his previous life. Visit Riedel. Me for extra chapters. "Shuang, this is my Shuang." Jian Wushuang was extremely excited, but then he frowned and asked, "What's going on? Why hasn't Shuang Er's consciousness awakened?" Even in the soul state, there was still consciousness. However, at this moment, Jian Wushuang clearly did not sense the existence of Lung Rushwang's consciousness. "My dear Heavenly Sword Marquis, what you want is your wife's consciousness from her previous life. Her consciousness and memories from her previous life have always been in a state of deep sleep and had never awakened. Now that her soul has just been stripped, her soul is in an extremely weak stage, so it's even more difficult for her to awaken her consciousness," spirit ancestor replied. "But don't worry. Even if her consciousness won't wake up for a while, as long as her soul is in the star moon agarwood and is nourished by it, she will be able to recover her consciousness and her previous memories. As for the time required for this process, it should not be too long. It can be as short as hundreds or thousands of years, or as long as tens of thousands of years. It can definitely be recovered." "Is that so?" Jian Wushuang nodded secretly. Although his wife's consciousness did not wake up immediately, Jian Wushuang still had some feelings. In any case, his wife's soul had been completely peeled out, and it was only a matter of time before her consciousness woke up. Next, he just needed to find a suitable body for his wife. Jian Wushuang had 2 choices for this body. One was to find the ice heart glazed jade, which could form a glazed body and perfectly fuse with Lung Rushwang's soul. There would that the ice heart glazed jade was extremely rare, it was not easy to find it. The second method was to find Lung Rushua. Lung Ruksha's body was her own. As long as he found her, erased her consciousness, and let her take over the body again, there would be no incompatibility between the body and the soul. Among the two methods, Jian Wushuang preferred the second one. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3503 Purple Blood Sect Outside the Valley. Heavenly Marquis, they'll send you here. If you need my help in the future, please feel free to let me know, Ma Yi said with a smile. You're welcome, Senior. If anything happens to the valley in the future, you can look for me. After all, we both have a common enemy, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. He knew that the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley had a great enmity with the Destruction Saint Realm, one of the three Saint Realms. The Destruction Saint Realm was a great enemy of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. The Destruction Saint Realm had some misgivings because of Ma Yi. However, if one day Ma Yi died, the Destruction Saint Realm would definitely attack the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley without hesitation. Even so, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley and Jian Wushuang indeed had a common enemy and had a chance to stand on the same side. Spirit Ancestor, he'll have to trouble you this time. Jian Wushuang looked at Spirit Ancestor again. You must be joking. You killed the Blood Master for me. I really can't repay your kindness, Spirit Ancestor said with a smile. After exchanging a few pleasantries, they parted ways and left. Ma Yi returned to Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, and Spirit Ancestor also went to the Heaven Ancestor Taoist sect. As for Jian Wushuang, he went with Demon Master Chenhua and True Pupil Master to the place where the experts left by the Purple Star Demon sect were. On the way, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua began to ask questions. Of course, True Pupil Master told them everything he knew. Sirs, according to the information from the Temporal Temple, after the destruction of the Purple Star Demon sect, some people were lucky enough to escape and survive. There were more than 100 experts who survived. Later, they gathered together to discuss it, but in the end, they separated because of different opinions, True Pupil Master said. Different opinions? Jian Wushuang was puzzled. It's like this. Among the hundreds of experts who were lucky enough to survive, some of them thought that they were still being hunted by the Flame Saint Realm and that it was not suitable for them to stay in the third heaven. Therefore, they thought that it was most appropriate for them to go into hiding in the Endless Territory. However, if they did so, it would mean that they would not try to rise again in the future. After all, the cultivation environment of the Endless Territories is incomparable to that of the third heaven. If they choose to hide in the Endless Territories, they will only be able to find a place to dominate in the Endless Territories in the future. There is no possibility of them rising up in the third heaven. There are still some people who advocate splitting up and growing up separately. If one of them is lucky enough to become a peak expert in the future, we will organize them and raise them up again. These people are in the minority. After all, there aren't many of them left, and there aren't many who are strong. If they go on their own, it will be too difficult for anyone to become a peak expert. The last group of people chose to stay in the third heaven and remain in the second heaven, right under the eyes of the Flame Saint Realm. However, the most dangerous place might be the safest. As long as they carefully conceal their identities, the Flame Saint Realm might not be able to find them. Moreover, once the news is out, they could completely change their appearance and create a new faction to pass down the legacy. This way, their chances of rising again in the future would be great. Over 100 people who survived had 3 different opinions. Many people supported these opinions and argued with each other. In the end, they split into 3 groups. Those who went to the Endless Territories went to the Endless Territories, those who went alone, and some stayed in the second heaven. Bastard! Upon hearing this, Demon Master Chenhua was a bit shocked and angry. The sect has already been destroyed. At this time, they still can't unite? There's nothing we can do. After all, those who simply survived, although their strength is different, there aren't any experts who can completely convince others. Without a backbone, it's normal for a few different voices to appear. True Pupil Master said, and later, as they lost their composure and developed, it proved that the final portion of people who chose to stay in the second heaven was correct. They stayed in the second heaven and were not discovered by the Flame Saint realm. First, they kept a low profile and grew stronger. Later on, 3 experts appeared among them. They are Tomb King Chiu Mu, Master Lingfeng, and Skyheart Sword Saint. Among them, Tomb King Chiu Mu has reached the 3rd level of the Void Realm. Master Lingfeng is weaker, but he is also a Principal's Master at the peak of the 2nd level of the Void Realm. As for Skyheart Sword Saint, he is also an invincible saint. As the 3 of them grew stronger, they founded a sect called the Purple Blood Sect. Visit Riedel. Me for extra chapters. Due to the fact that the Purple Blood Sect has 2 Principal's Masters and an invincible saint like the Skyheart Sword Saint, the Purple Blood Sect has attracted many cultivators. Their strength has also gradually grown, and they have gradually established themselves in the second heaven. Although they are not considered the top forces in the second heaven, they can still be considered to be in the middle range. Chiu Mu, Lingfeng, and Skyheart. The Demon Master Chenhua was excited. I could tell that these 3 little fellows were quite talented when they were in the Purple Star Demon sect. They will definitely have great achievements in the future. It seems that this is indeed the case. The 2 of them have become the Principal's Masters, and Skyheart has become an invincible saint. Ha! The Demon Master Chenhua laughed very happily. He had always been worried about whether there were any experts left in the Purple Star Demon sect. He was not confident at all. But now, he finally knew the whereabouts of the experts left behind by the Purple Star Demon sect. And these experts did not disappoint him. Although they were not able to bring the Purple Star Demon sect to rise again, at the very least, they were able to give the Purple Star Demon sect an additional inheritance. This was already very good. Honorable Sir, the Purple Blood sect has existed for a relatively long period of time in the second heavenly layer. Originally, there should not have been any problems. But more than 500 years ago, an unforeseen event occurred. True Pupil Master suddenly said, "Something happened?" Demon Master Chenuo's face darkened and his eyes turned cold. What happened? The Purple Blood sect was destroyed, True Pupil Master said. What did you say? Demon Master Chenuo's face changed dramatically. Jian Wushuang's face also darkened. He knew how important Demon Master Chenhua thought the Purple Star Demon sect was. He was happy when he found out that there were experts from the Purple Star Demon sect who had passed on their inheritance. But now, True Pupil Master said the Purple Blood sect was destroyed? Tell me clearly, True Pupil Master, Jian Wushuang said in a low voice. The Purple Blood sect has indeed been destroyed. Our temporal temple hasn't figured out the exact reason, but Tomb King Chiu Mu and Master Lingfeng have been killed. However, Skyheart Sword Saint is still alive, True Pupil Master said. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 3504, Blood Origin Domain. Skyheart is still alive? Where is he? Demon Master Chenhua asked. Skyheart Sword Saint is in the Blood Origin Domain of the second heaven, True Pupil Master said. Blood Origin Domain? Jian Wushuang's expression changed. The Blood Origin Domain is not a place that specializes in extracting blood origin stones. The vast territory is filled with blood origin stone veins, and the people in the Blood Origin Domain, apart from the soldiers guarding there, are only slaves whose cultivation is suppressed and used to extract blood origin stones? When Jian Wushuang came to the second heaven, he had carefully looked at the star map of the territory in the second heaven, so he naturally knew about the blood origin field. That territory was very strange in the second heaven. It was a huge and boundless blood origin stone lode. Although blood origin stones were not very precious, They were used to refine holy weapons and some special treasures. Moreover, the amount was huge, so the value of this vein was extremely high. As early as 100 million years ago, after this huge vein of blood origin stones was discovered, it was jointly managed by 7 different forces. Because the extraction of blood origin stones required a large amount of manpower, therefore, the 7 great forces would pay a price to buy some slaves and use them to extract blood origin stones. At the same time, the 7 great forces would often suppress the cultivation of those who had a grudge with the 7 great forces and send them to the blood origin domain as slaves. Skyheart Sword Saint, many of the powerful disciples of the Purple Blood sect were sent to the blood origin domain after the destruction of the Purple Blood sect. All these years, they have been working as slaves there to mine blood origin stones. True Pupil Master said. How dare you? Demon Master Chenyuo's eyes were cold, and a shocking anger burst out from his body. True Pupil, lead the way immediately. Well, go to the blood origin domain together, Jian Wushuang said. Yes. True Pupil Master nodded. The 3 of them immediately headed straight for the blood origin domain. The blood origin domain was also quite vast. Blood origin stones were everywhere in this great domain. The 7 great factions that controlled the blood origin domain had bought a large number of slaves from various chambers of commerce and other places. They were scattered all over the blood origin domain. These slaves had to mine blood origin stones every day, day and night. It was almost difficult for them to stop and rest. At this moment, somewhere in the blood origin domain, a pitch-black long whip lashed through the air and directly struck the body of a gray-clothed man in front, emitting a clear sound. The gray-clothed man immediately let out a delighted roar. However, the eyes of the soldier holding the long whip were emitting a cold gaze. Put, put, put. The pitch-black long whip was like a venomous snake as it crazily lashed out at the gray-clothed man time and time again. At the same time that the long whip lashed out, the soldier also shouted, "A bunch of lowly slaves, you still dare to slack off? I'll whip you to death." The long whip kept whipping. The gray-robed man's cultivation was suppressed, so he could not use much divine power. In front of the saint-level soldier, he could not resist at all. He could only let the whip hit him time and time again. However, the long whip was the soul-piercing whip that the 7 forces had specially modified. Using the soul-piercing whip to whip the gray-robed man's body would not cause much damage, nor would it cause much pain. However, each whip struck his soul. Each whip made the gray-clothed man's soul hurt. He screamed miserably. The servants around who had the same status as the gray-clothed man were all stiff when they saw this scene, as if they were used to it. Stop! A low roar suddenly sounded. A thin, white-bearded old man with dark skin walked over and pulled the gray-clothed man up. He said in a deep voice, "Sir, this disciple of mine is only a little slow in mining. According to the rules, 3 lashes should be sufficient even if I have to punish him. However, you have already lashed out a total of 9 lashes, causing great damage to his soul. If you continue to whip him, it is likely that his soul will directly collapse and die." Humph, he is merely a lowly slave. So what if he dies? That soldier coldly laughed. Old fellow, you want to stand up for him? All right, this father will teach you a lesson again. As he spoke, this soldier once again raised the soul-piercing whip in his hand, intending to lash it at the white-bearded old man. However, at this moment, what is going on? A voice suddenly sounded. Immediately, a green-robed middle-aged man rushed over. Sir Su. Upon seeing this person, all the soldiers present bowed respectfully. The soldier who was holding the soul-piercing whip respectfully said, "Sir Su, it is nothing. It is just that there are a few lowly slaves here who are not very obedient. I am currently teaching them a lesson." Teaching them a lesson? The green-robed middle-aged man glanced at the soldier. "Do you know who this person is?" "He is." The soldier revealed a puzzled expression. "He is the Grand Elder of the Purple Blood sect, the famous Skyheart Sword Saint. How can you punish him so easily?" The green-robed middle-aged man intentionally reprimanded. He then extended his hand and said, "Hand over the soul-piercing whip to me." "Yes." The soldier handed the soul-piercing whip to the middle-aged man in the green robe without hesitation. After receiving the soul-piercing whip, the middle-aged man in the green robe looked at the white-bearded old man, who was the Skyheart Sword Saint, with a playful look. Skyheart Sword Saint, do you still recognize me? The Skyheart Sword Saint's face darkened slightly. He did not know the person in front of him. It's normal that you don't know me, but I know you. To be exact, I know that eldest disciple of yours. 15,000 years ago, when I was adventuring outside, I met that eldest disciple of yours and fought with him. In the end, I lost miserably in that battle, and I almost died in his hands. From then on, I swore that as long as there was a chance, I would avenge myself. Unfortunately, I didn't go when your purple blood sect was destroyed, and your eldest disciple died in that battle. I couldn't take revenge on him at all. However, although I can't take revenge on him, if I can take revenge on his master, it will be enough to vent my anger. The green-robed middle-aged man sneered, and his eyes turned cold. What? The pitch-black soul-piercing whip kept lashing at Skyheart Sword Saint. Skyheart Sword Saint's divine power was suppressed, so he could not exert his full strength. Of course, he could not dodge it. The whip lashed at Skyheart Sword Saint's body again and again, causing him severe pain in his soul. However, he gritted his teeth and endured it without shouting. Ha! You probably didn't expect that even though you're dead, your master, the master you respect the most, would end up in my hands. If I want him to live, he can live. If I want him to die, he has to die. Even if I were to ravage him, he won't be able to struggle at all. Chapter 3505. The Furious Demon Master Chenhua. Ha! This is great, great. The green-robed middle-aged man laughed out loud. There was a hint of madness in his laughter. It could be seen how much hatred he had toward Skyheart Sword Saint's disciple. Now that Skyheart Sword Saint's disciple was dead, he could not take revenge on him. However, if he could take revenge and ravage Skyheart Sword Saint, he would feel even more relieved and comfortable. After all, the Skyheart Sword Saint was an extremely famous invincible saint, and he had only just become a rank 7 true saint. Normally, he would never dare to provoke an existence like the Skyheart Sword Saint. But now, the other party was his prisoner. If he wanted to live, he would live. If he wanted to die, he would die. With such a contrast, the green-robed middle-aged man was very wanton. This was also the reason why the green-robed middle-aged man had paid a huge price in the sect to have the sect transfer him to the blood origin domain. Ha! Skyheart Sword Saint, beg for mercy. Kneel in front of me obediently, kowtow and beg for mercy, and I'll let you go. The green-robed middle-aged man laughed wantonly. The soul-piercing whip in his hand did not stop for even a moment. It struck the Skyheart Sword Saint's body time and time again. The intense pain in his soul caused the Skyheart Sword Saint's face to completely distort. However, he still endured it and did not make a sound. As for the surrounding disciples of the Purple Blood Sect, they all clenched their hands tightly. The anger in their hearts surged to the heavens, but they did not dare to flare up. Ha! Skyheart Sword Saint, aren't you going to beg for mercy? The green-robed middle-aged man continued to laugh wantonly. However, suddenly, the laughter of the green-robed middle-aged man suddenly stopped. It was not just his laughter. The movements of his hands also completely stopped. The arrogant look on his face was gradually replaced by an unprecedented fear. The green-robed middle-aged man was extremely terrified. He did not even know where the reason for his fear came from, but he knew that his life force had already begun to drain away. A bloody hole had appeared between his eyebrows. This bloody hole had pierced through his head, and at the same time, it had completely annihilated all the divine power in his body. Without any chance of struggle, the green-robed middle-aged man died on the spot. The sudden change of events shocked everyone in the surroundings. Everyone saw the green-robed middle-aged man turn into an ice-cold corpse, but from the beginning to the end, they did not know what had happened. What happened? Lord Su is dead? How did he die? The soldiers were also at a loss. However, at this moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared in front of the green-robed middle-aged man and stood in front of Skyheart Sword Saint. "Are you Skyheart?" An old but gentle voice sounded. Skyheart Sword Saint, who had suffered an unprecedented pain in his soul and could only grit his teeth to endure it, slowly raised his head when he heard the voice. However, when he raised his head and saw the person who had appeared in front of him, Skyheart Sword Saint's body trembled violently and his eyes widened. Could you be Demon Master Chenhua?" Skyheart Sword Saint's voice trembled as he asked. "Yes, it's me." Demon Master Chenhua nodded slightly. "Demon Master Chenhua, are you really Demon Master Chenhua? You are still alive? Am I dreaming?" Skyheart Sword Saint's entire being became excited. He had even completely forgotten the intense pain in his soul. 200 million years ago, when the Purple Star Demon sect was still around, Demon Master Chenhua was already an elder of the Purple Star Demon sect. Furthermore, he was a genius elder. He was astonishingly famous. And at that time, Skyheart Sword Saint was only a core disciple of the Purple Star Demon sect. In terms of seniority, he naturally had to address the Demon Master Chenhua as Martial Uncle. However, during the battle that destroyed the Purple Star Demon sect, the Demon Master Chenhua stayed in the Purple Star Demon sect. Furthermore, after that battle, there was no news of the Demon Master Chenhua. This made Skyheart Sword Saint believe that the Demon Master Chenhua had died long ago. But today, "Skyheart, you have suffered." Demon Master Chenhua's voice was trembling. But at this time, "Who dares to be so impudent in the blood origin domain?" A loud shout suddenly resounded throughout the world. Hundreds of figures swarmed over from the void not far away like wasps. These people were all soldiers guarding the blood origin domain. They were not weak, and the leader was a principal's master. As soon as Jian Wushuang and the other two arrived and Demon Master Chenhua killed the green-robed middle-aged man, the high-level experts guarding the blood origin domain immediately received the news and rushed over. Although they did not know who had broken into the blood origin domain and killed the green-robed middle-aged man, and how strong he was, the blood origin domain was jointly controlled by the 7 forces, and with the 7 forces working together, the 7 forces were extremely powerful and could do whatever they wanted in the second heaven. With such a powerful background, they naturally did not have to worry about anything. They had always been extremely overbearing. However, this time, they had clearly raised an iron plate. When the hundreds of figures rushed over, Demon Master Chenhua slowly raised his head and glanced at the void. Then he slowly raised his head again. A surge of power had begun to gather in his hand. These people are doomed. Jian Wushuang looked at the hundreds of people who rushed over with sympathy. He could see that Demon Master Chenhua was clearly in a rage. Under such a rage, would those people not be courting death if they still came to find him? Sure enough, Demon Master Chenhua directly attacked. He simply waved his right hand toward the void, which swept up a terrifying storm and instantly covered the entire void. There were over 100 figures in the void. Most of them were true saints above rank 6, rank 7, and even peak saints. There was also a principal's master, but in front of this storm, they were all very weak. The void shattered like a piece of paper. Everything in the void was annihilated into dust. The hundreds of experts were naturally annihilated by this storm. Not a single person was left. This scene completely shocked everyone present. With a wave of his hand, hundreds of experts, including a void master, all died? What kind of strength is this? Who is he? Countless terrified voices echoed in everyone's minds. Skyheart Sword Saint was overjoyed when he saw this scene. He immediately knelt down and screamed, "Demon Master Chenhua, you must avenge our Purple Blood Sect, Senior Brother Chiu Mu, and Senior Brother Ling Feng." "Skyheart, don't worry. Sit down and speak slowly." Demon Master Chenhua suppressed the anger in his heart. "Skyheart Sword Saint, your soul has suffered great damage. I have a few elixirs here. Take them first. They will be very helpful to your soul recovery." Jian Wushuang took out a jade bottle and handed it to Skyheart Sword Saint. Chapter 3506, Martial Uncle Chenhua, Thank You. Skyheart Sword Saint received the jade bottle and thanked him. Then he took out a few pills and began to swallow them. After swallowing them, Skyheart Sword Saint's complexion was obviously much better than before. Taking a deep breath, Skyheart Sword Saint said in a low voice, Martial Uncle, the one who destroyed our Purple Blood sect was the Kong Yin sect. At the same time, there were experts from the 100 Ghost sect who helped us. Kong Yin sect? 100 Ghost sect? The gaze of the demon master Chenhua was cold. The Kong Yin sect is one of the 7 major powers that control the blood origin domain. Their overall strength can only be considered average. As for the 100 Ghost sect, they can barely be considered an overlord of a region at the second heaven. Compared to the Blood Marquis Palace, they are only slightly inferior, the true pupil master explained. The Purple Blood sect is very low-key and does not easily provoke large forces. We have never offended Kong Yin sect or the 100 Ghost sect. However, I don't know where Kong Yin sect found out that we have a top-tier supreme treasure, so they are coveting it, Skyheart Sword Saint said. Top-tier supreme treasure? Do you have it in the Purple Blood sect? Jian Wushuang asked. Yes, I do. It's a suppression-type supreme treasure. Senior brother Lingfeng obtained it by chance when he was exploring a secret realm. It's indeed very valuable. I didn't expect that it was this suppression-type supreme treasure that caused the destruction of the Purple Blood sect. Skyheart Sword Saint clenched his fists. His face also became ferocious. Our Purple Blood sect is not weak either. Kong Yin sect alone cannot do anything to our Purple Blood sect. However, Kong Yin sect secretly found the experts of the 100 Ghost sect and made the 100 Ghost sect send 3 principals masters to join forces with them. They directly charged into our Purple Blood sect. Our Purple Blood sect was no match for them. Senior brother Chiu Mu and senior brother Lingfeng died on the spot. Many of their elders and disciples were also killed. Originally, the experts of the Kong Yin sect and the 100 Ghost sect planned to kill all the cultivators of the Purple Blood sect. However, because the blood origin domain needed some slaves who were responsible for extracting blood origin stones, they imprisoned the remaining disciples of the Purple Blood sect and suppressed their cultivation. Not long after, they were brought to the blood origin domain and began to extract blood origin stones in the dark. I thought that the remaining disciples of our Purple Blood sect would slowly die in the blood origin domain. I didn't expect you to still be alive, Martial Uncle. Senior brother Chenhua, you must avenge our Purple Blood sect, senior brother Chiu Mu and senior brother Lingfeng. Skyheart Sword Saint shouted mournfully. He was a descendant of the Purple Star Demon sect. He knew very well that 200 million years ago, when the Purple Star Demon sect was still around, the Chenhua Demon Master was publicly acknowledged as a genius elder. At that time, he was already an extremely powerful Principal's Master, and now, so many years had passed, so his strength was definitely even more terrifying. This could be seen from the fact that he had just killed over 100 soldiers with a wave of his hand and even killed a Principal's Master. Such a powerful martial uncle gave Skyheart Sword Saint hope of revenge. Don't worry, I will avenge Chiu Mu and Lingfeng. The eyes of the demon master Chenhua were burning with anger. Skyheart, gather all the disciples of the Purple Blood sect. Yes. Skyheart Sword Saint nodded and immediately went to gather them. In a short while, all the disciples of the Purple Blood sect in the blood origin domain had gathered here. At a glance, there were no less than 1,000 of them. Most of these disciples were weaker. The stronger ones had already been killed by the Kong Yin sect. The reason why they did not kill Skyheart Sword Saint was because the Kong Yin sect wanted to better control these people. They were just extracting the blood origin stones for them. These disciples were all gathered here, but all of them had blank expressions on their faces. They had already learned that someone had come to save them. And the person who had come was the martial uncle of the Skyheart Sword Saint, an extremely ancient and powerful Principal's Master. But they were very unfamiliar with the demon master Chenhua himself. They had never heard the Skyheart Sword Saint or Chiu Mu or the Lingfeng Master mention such a martial uncle before. At the same time, they also had a trace of doubt in their hearts. Could the martial uncle of the Skyheart Sword Saint really save them? One had to know that the blood origin domain was jointly controlled by the 7 great powers, and the 7 great powers could basically do whatever they wanted in the second heaven. Even some of the extremely powerful sects in the second heaven did not dare to provoke the 7 great powers easily. It was not easy for the 7 forces to let them go. These disciples' doubtful eyes were also noticed by Demon Master and Jian Wushuang. Are they all here? Demon Master's face was a little gloomy. They are all here. Skyheart Sword Saint nodded. There were tens of thousands of disciples under the Purple Blood sect, but more than half of them were killed and many escaped during the sect extermination battle. In the end, only about 2,000 people were brought to the blood origin domain by the suppression of their cultivation. However, after more than 500 years, many of these disciples chose to end their lives because they could not bear the life of mining blood origin stones in the dark and the oppression and humiliation of the sergeants. Those who are still alive are those who are more determined and desire to live. It's been hard on all of you. Demon Master Chenhua nodded slightly. Don't worry. Since I am here, I will not let you suffer. I will not let any sect or faction bully you. These words caused the hearts and bodies of the disciples of the Purple Blood sect to tremble. Honorable Master, these people's cultivation has been suppressed, and their suppression techniques are not weak. Even experts above the principal's master level can only help them break the suppression one by one to restore their strength, True Pupil Master said. True Pupil Master, he'll have to trouble you with this. Jian Wushuang glanced at True Pupil Master. Yes. True Pupil Master nodded without any reluctance. It was not difficult for Principal's Master to come into contact with the suppression techniques of these people one by one. It would only take a little effort and time, but there was no other cost. Of course, True Pupil Master was not reluctant. Skyheart, you tell them to wait here and ask True Pupil Master to restore their cultivation one by one. And you, come with me to Kong In sect now, Demon Master Chenhua said coldly. Now! Skyheart Sword Saint was stunned for a moment and then revealed an ecstatic expression. Jian Wushuang instructed again, True Pupil Master, let's go to the Kong In sect. As for the disciples of the Purple Blood sect, I'll leave them to you. You must ensure their safety. Don't worry, sir. With me around, no one will be able to hurt them again, True Pupil Master said with a smile. Chapter 3507. Slaughter. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. He was more at ease with the True Pupil Master. First of all, the True Pupil Master was a Principal's Master in the 3 realms of the Void, and he was extremely powerful. Second, the True Pupil Master came from the Temporal Temple, and the 7 forces that controlled the blood origin domain did not dare to act rashly just because of his identity. With him protecting the disciples of the Purple Blood sect, no one from the 7 forces would dare to touch them. Let's go! Demon Master Chenhua said. Immediately, Jian Wushuang, Demon Master Chenhua, and Skyheart Sword Saint flew directly toward the nest of the Kong In sect. The nest of the Kong In sect was not far from the blood origin domain, so it did not take long for the 3 of them to arrive. Looking at the bustling sect in front of them, a shocking killing intent surged from Demon Master Chenhuo's eyes. Skyheart, you stay here and watch, Demon Master Chenhua instructed. Then he looked at Jian Wushuang and said, Heavenly Sword Marquis, take care of him for me. No problem. Jian Wushuang nodded. Immediately, Demon Master Chenhua charged directly toward the base of the Kong In sect. Sir, Uncle Master is alone. Is it okay for him to charge into the lair of the Kong In sect? Skyheart Sword Saint was a little worried at first. Jian Wushuang smiled and said, Don't worry. Let alone the Kong In sect, even if 10 of them were to be tied together, they would not be enough in front of Chenhua. Just watch. Just as Jian Wushuang said, a mere Kong In sect had no room to struggle in front of the supreme strength of Demon Master Chenhua. Demon Master Chenhua punched out casually, and the protection formation of the Kong In sect collapsed. Demon Master Chenhua charged into the Kong In sect without any hindrance. When the protection formation was broken, the experts of the Kong In sect were naturally shocked and furious. One after another, experts rose up. The Devil Master did not waste any words on these experts of the Kong-in sect. He directly attacked and began the slaughter. He first appeared in front of the strongest sect master of the Kong-in sect. With a brutal punch, this peak third-level Void Realm sect master was instantly killed. He did not even have the slightest chance to struggle. As for the other experts of the Kong-in sect, they were like ants in front of the Demon Master. They were completely massacred. Slaughtered, completely slaughtered. Although the Kong-in sect's foundation was not ordinary and their strength was not weak, and they had 5 principles masters, they were still nothing in front of the Demon Master Chenhua. In the blink of an eye, 4 of the 5 principles masters of the Kong-in sect were killed by the Demon Master Chenhua. The remaining principles master, as well as the other disciples of the Kong-in sect, were all scared out of their wits. They all started to flee frantically. The entire Kong-in sect was in a mess. Countless figures were fleeing frantically, not daring to come into contact with the killing god in the void. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang could not help but sigh. It's rare to see Chenhua start a massacre. It seems that he's really angry. The Kong-in sect is doomed. After sighing, Jian Wushuang's expression suddenly changed. It's fine if the disciples of the Kong-in sect are weak and are at the bottom, but it's better not to keep those strong mainstays. Jian Wushuang smiled and casually waved his hand. A vast power of space-time principles instantly swept out. He directly used the golden sky painting flag. Not only did Jian Wushuang restrict the space-time around him, but he also immediately released a huge space-time binding force that swept toward the immortal saints of the Kong-in sect who were at the top level. With Jian Wushuang's current strength, using the golden sky painting flag to bind the immortal saint was a little overkill. Even though there were a lot of people bound, it was easy for Jian Wushuang. In a flash, the upper-level experts of the Kong-in sect were bound and could hardly move. Demon Master Chenhua did not refuse Jian Wushuang's good intentions. He started a massacre on these people whom he usually did not even bother to look at. Because of Demon Master Chenhua's slaughter, the Kong-in sect had been turned into a sea of blood. It was a terrible sight. Jian Wushuang just looked at the surrounding void indifferently. Skyheart Sword Saint was shocked, but more than that, he felt happy to take revenge. At this moment, Jian Wushuang's expression suddenly changed. He had noticed that a large number of experts were rushing over from the surrounding void. There were nearly 20 of them, with most of them being principles masters. There are nearly 20 principles masters. In the second heaven, there shouldn't be any sect or force that can take action. And now, if I'm not mistaken, they should be the other 6 forces that control the blood origin domain, Jian Wushuang muttered. He had already looked in that direction. It's the experts from the other 6 forces. Skyheart Sword Saint immediately became nervous. He had heard that the 7 forces that controlled the blood origin domain were usually united against a common enemy. Whoever provoked one of the forces was equivalent to provoking all of them. Because of their unity, they were able to occupy the blood origin domain and run amok in the second heaven. This time, the 6 forces had rushed over because they had received a request for help from the Kong-in sect. However, when they rushed over, the Kong-in sect had already turned into a sea of blood that filled the sky. Meanwhile, the Demon Master Chenhua, who was in the middle of the sea of blood, was still slaughtering crazily to vent his anger. This is the Kong-in sect? Who is that person? What did he do to the Kong-in sect? The principles masters from the 6 forces looked at the sea of blood in horror. However, before they could get close to the sea of blood, Jian Wushuang had already stood in front of them and blocked their way. Everyone, let me give you a piece of advice. Go back to where you came from. It's better for you not to get involved in the affairs of the Kong-in sect today, Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Seeing Jian Wushuang blocking in front of them, especially when he sensed the aura emanating from Jian Wushuang's body, he was merely a saint. A principles master in the 3rd realm of the Void Realm from the 6 major forces, he immediately shouted, "How dare a mere saint block our way? Get out of my way!" Jian Wushuang's eyes turned cold, but the Blood Mountain sword behind him was instantly unsheathed. A sword light streaked across the void like a bolt of lightning and struck toward the principal's master. The principal's master's expression changed. He tried to block the attack, but the sword light was not blocked at all. It flew past the principal's master's body. It shattered the principal's master's divine body at once. Jian Wushuang did not kill him, but the principal's master's divine power was not completely destroyed. You'd better be careful. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Jian Wushuang's cold voice slowly echoed in the world. Chapter 3508. Terror? How is this possible? The principal's master of the third level of the void space realm, who had his godly body destroyed by a single sword, was waiting with his eyes wide open in disbelief. He was not the only one. The nearly 20 principal's masters around him were all in a daze. A saint used a single sword to destroy the godly body of a third level of the void realm principal's master? What kind of strength is this? He must have at least the battle strength of the 5 void realms, and he is probably not weak among them. He is just a saint, but his battle strength is comparable to the principal's masters of the 5 void realms. He is Heavenly Sword Marquis. Only Heavenly Sword Marquis can do this in the divine beginning realm. Heavenly Sword Marquis? The expressions of the nearly 20 principal's masters from the 6 major forces began to change after they understood Jian Wushuang's identity. At the same time, they had also heard that Heavenly Marquis Sword had turned the demon realm upside down in the third heaven. At the same time, he had been accompanied by a super expert with terrifying strength, an expert who had reached the pinnacle of the 6 realms of the void. This expert, everyone could not help but look at Demon Master Chenhua, who was still slaughtering crazily in the Kong-Yin sect. In the next moment, the 20 principal's masters all shuddered. You should be experts from the other 6 forces that control the blood origin domain, right? Jian Wushuang's voice was heard at this moment. You should be young friend Heavenly Sword Marquis, right? Among the nearly 20 principal's masters, the strongest and most senior white-haired elder said. This white-haired elder had clearly reached the 4th realm of the void realm. However, he did not dare to put on airs in front of Jian Wushuang. It's me. Jian Wushuang admitted his identity directly. Then he asked, if I'm not mistaken, you must be here for the Kong-Yin sect. But I'm sorry to tell you that from today on, there will be no more Kong-Yin sect in the divine beginning realm. As for the 7 forces that originally controlled the blood origin domain, there will only be 2 from now on. Do you have any objections to this? No, of course not. The white-haired elder quickly shook his head. The Kong-Yin sect has been very extreme and arrogant over the years. The 6 forces have long been dissatisfied with it, but we didn't expect the Kong-Yin sect to be so bold and provoke you. It's a disaster. You really know how to talk. Jian Wushuang smiled. But you're wrong about one thing. The Kong-Yin sect has never provoked me. It provoked Demon Master Chenhua, who is by my side. I know Chen Yuo's temper. He disdains to lower himself to attack weaker cultivators and even some principal's masters. But this time, he has started a massacre. You can imagine his anger. As far as I know, the 6 forces might not be able to get away with this. What? The expression of the white-haired elder and the other principal's masters of the 6 forces changed drastically. The 6 forces could not get away from this incident? Could it be that after the Demon Master had massacred the Kong-Yin sect, he would attack the 6 forces again? Thinking of this, the principal's masters of the 6 forces became nervous and terrified. Seeing the change in the expression of the principal's masters, Jian Wushuang smiled and glanced at Skyheart Sword Saint behind him. Skyheart Sword Saint, come here first. My lord. Skyheart Sword Saint came to Jian Wushuang and bowed to him respectfully. At the same time, he was shocked. At first, he thought that Jian Wushuang was the disciple of Demon Master Chenhua when he saw his uncle master together with Jian Wushuang. After all, Jian Wushuang's aura was only at the saint level. But now, Jian Wushuang had defeated a principal's master of the 3 void realms with a single strike. Such strength really scared him. He now truly understood Jian Wushuang's identity. At the same time, he also knew that Jian Wushuang was not his martial uncle's disciple, but had a deeper relationship with his martial uncle. Do you all recognize Skyheart Sword Saint? Jian Wushuang looked at the principal's masters in front of him with interest. Skyheart Sword Saint? Skyheart Sword Saint of the Purple Blood Sect? The Purple Blood Sect was destroyed by the Kong-In sect more than 500 years ago? Moreover, many disciples of the Purple Blood Sect were arranged to mine blood origin stones in the blood origin domain. Could it be, seeing Skyheart Sword Saint, the principal's masters immediately understood? Jian Wushuang smiled and said, "Let me tell you first. Chenhua is Skyheart Sword Saint's uncle, and the Purple Blood Sect where Skyheart Sword Saint is a legacy of the Purple Star Demon Sect many years ago. After the Kong-In sect destroyed the Purple Blood Sect, they are destined to be killed by Chenhua. As for how you six forces should deal with them, it depends on Chenhua." Upon hearing this, the experts of the six forces became even more terrified. They had no choice. An expert at the pinnacle of the six realms of the void was not someone they could afford to provoke. Just like how Demon Master Chenhua had annihilated the Kong-In sect, Demon Master Chenhua could also easily wipe out the six forces. Soon, the slaughter in the Kong-In sect was almost over, and Demon Master Chenhua slowly walked out of the Blood Sea. Jian Wushuang could not help but glance at the Kong-In sect when he saw Demon Master Chenhua coming out, but he nodded secretly. He had been paying attention to it. Although Demon Master Chenhua was slaughtering crazily, most of the people he was slaughtering were the high-level experts of the Kong-In sect. As for the weaker disciples, they were at the bottom of the hierarchy. However, he did not kill or chase them. Compared to the Kong-In sect's direct destruction of the Purple Blood Sect and the capture of all the remaining disciples of the Purple Blood Sect to the Blood Origin domain, the Kong-In sect was much more merciful. Even though there were still many weaker disciples left, the Kong-In sect was completely finished without the support of high-level experts. "Uncle Master." Skyheart Sword Saint hurriedly bowed respectfully when he saw Demon Master Chenhua walking over. "Chenhua, the people from the six major forces have arrived," Jian Wushuang said indifferently. Demon Master Chenhua's eyes were cold and still filled with a shocking killing intent as he swept his gaze across the bodies of the principal's masters. All the principal's masters who were swept by the gaze of the Demon Master Chenhua felt their hearts tremble. "Skyheart, let me ask you, have these six great powers ever persecuted the Purple Blood Sect?" the Demon Master Chenhua asked. "Martial Uncle, the ones who destroyed our Purple Blood Sect back then were the Kong-In sect and 100 Ghost sect. As for these six great powers, they didn't act. However, these six great powers and the Kong-In sect jointly control the Blood Origin domain. After the surviving disciples of our Purple Blood Sect were captured and brought to the Blood Origin domain, the soldiers of these six great powers also bullied us many times. Many of our disciples chose to end their lives because they couldn't endure their misery." Chapter 3509. Conditions. In other words, the hands of the six major powers have also been stained with the blood of your Purple Blood Sect disciples, right? The voice of the Demon Master Chenhua turned cold. "Yes." Skyheart Sword Saint nodded. The principal's masters of the six major powers were scared out of their wits. The most powerful white-haired old man shouted, "Lord Chenhua, the Purple Blood Sect is purely the doing of the Kong-In sect. The six major forces have never interfered before. As for what happened in the Blood Origin domain, it was all done by the soldiers guarding there. The six major forces can't completely restrain them. Moreover, we didn't know about the relationship between the Purple Blood Sect and you. Lord Chenhua, the six great factions are willing to immediately apologize to you and the members of the Purple Blood Sect. We are also willing to pay a price to compensate you. We hope that you can be lenient." The white-haired old man was already begging for mercy as much as possible. He had no choice. He was deeply aware of the terrifying strength that the Demon Master Chenhua possessed. Once the Demon Master Chenhua made a move, the six great factions would vanish like the Kong-In sect. Therefore, he could only try his best to ask Demon Master Chenhua for forgiveness. Upon hearing the white-haired elder's words, Demon Master Chenhua narrowed his eyes slightly, but the killing intent in his eyes did not diminish at all. At this moment, Jian Wushuang spoke. Chenhua, the 7 forces that control the blood origin domain are all powerful and have a wide range of influence. It's not a problem for you to destroy the Kong Yin sect alone. However, if you destroy all 7 of them in one go, it will cause a lot of trouble, especially for the forces or experts that have a lot of connections with the 7 forces. Of course, your strength is tyrannical, so you don't have to care about these things. However, the Purple Blood sect has to care. In the future, the Purple Blood sect has to rise and grow. They can't have too many enemies. Therefore, we just have to teach these 6 great powers a deep lesson. There's no need to kill them all. Besides, this man is right. There have been a lot of slaves in the blood origin domain since many years ago. Those who were sent there have no dignity. Although the sergeants sometimes bully them, they usually don't kill them. The disciples of the Purple Blood sect who died in the blood origin domain almost couldn't bear the dark days. We can't blame the sergeants for their deaths. Jian Wushuang's words hit the nail on the head, and he had indeed thought of many things. After hearing his words, the killing intent in Demon Master Chenyuo's eyes eased a little. I think we should ask the 6 forces to investigate some of the sergeants who bullied the disciples of the Purple Blood sect while they were in the blood origin domain. After finding out who they are, kill them all. Also, ask each of the 6 forces to give 100,000 divine power as compensation, Jian Wushuang said. After saying that, Jian Wushuang looked at the principals masters of the 6 forces and asked, "Can the 6 forces accept what I'm saying?" "Yes, of course." The white-haired elder nodded without thinking. He looked at Demon Master Chenhua nervously. "This punishment is too light." Demon Master Chenyuo's face was cold. After the destruction of the Purple Blood sect, there are only a few thousand disciples left. There are too few of them, and it will be difficult for them to recruit new disciples. Therefore, from today onwards, for the next 100,000 years, the 6 great powers will prohibit the recruitment of disciples from the outside world. The nearby territories will all belong to the Purple Blood sect, regardless of whether they want to join the sect or have talented disciples. As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the principal's masters from the 6 great powers changed drastically. Within 100,000 years, the 6 great powers would not be allowed to take in a single disciple? This punishment was not small to them. After all, if a sect or power wanted to continue on, they could not always rely on the experts of the older generation. Instead, they had to constantly absorb new blood and nurture young geniuses. Only in this way could the old and the new be constantly replaced, allowing the sect to remain strong and prosperous. As a result, the 6 great factions had always placed great importance on recruiting disciples. Every once in a while, they would hold large-scale entrance feasts in the territories under their control. They would attract countless young cultivators, and they would select some of the best among them. It had always been like this and had never been cut off. It was because of this that the 6 great factions had been able to remain strong. But now, the 6 great factions were not allowed to recruit a single disciple for 100,000 years? This was equivalent to a vacuum period of 100,000 years. During the 100,000 years, not a single drop of fresh blood had been injected. This had an enormous impact on any sect or faction. On the other hand, the Purple Blood sect, because of this territory, the other 6 major factions did not recruit disciples. Under this premise, those young cultivators who wished to join the sect would definitely swarm toward the Purple Blood sect. In addition, with a super expert like the Demon Master Chenhua, the attraction to the outside world would be even greater. With this, forget about 100,000 years, it was estimated that the Purple Blood sect would only need tens of thousands of years to recover its origin chi. At most, it would be lacking some mid-level combat strength. However, as long as there was an endless stream of fresh blood being injected into the Purple Blood sect, sooner or later, the Purple Blood sect would also be able to produce an endless stream of experts. It could be said that this move of the Demon Master Chenhua was indeed extremely thoughtful. He had also considered a lot for the Purple Blood sect. Most importantly, although this condition seemed harsh, it did not exceed the scope of acceptance of the 6 major factions. Therefore, the 6 major factions would still accept it if nothing unexpected happened. As expected, after a simple discussion among the principal's masters of the 6 great forces, the white-haired old man opened his mouth once again. Lord Shenhua, we have already discussed it. We can accept your conditions. From today onwards, our 6 great forces will announce to the public that we will not open our sects for another 100,000 years. As long as we do not obtain the consent of the Purple Blood sect, our 6 great forces will definitely not recruit another disciple. Since that is the case, then we will understand this matter. However, from today onwards, if any of your 6 great factions dare to offend the Purple Blood sect, then don't blame this old man for being ruthless. Demon Master Chenhua said coldly. Of course. The white-haired old man broke out in cold sweat. The principal's masters within the 6 great factions secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Even though they had paid a heavy price this time, they were already thankful that they were not implicated by the Demon Master Chenhuo's anger. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.